so much fun.
I didn't even hardly get to hang out with you.
I know. Well, you were busy getting married.
You kicked us out of the house.
You did kick us out of the house.
Well, exactly what I said was going to happen. 3 drunk girls making flower arrangements at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right. That is more the reason why I should have been sleeping on the couch like I was the night before.
Well, where was Justin going to sleep?
That's not my problem.
The 3 of us piled in our bed and went to sleep for 4 hours.
That sounds naughty the night before your wedding.
It was not.
Just hot, drunk girls laying in bed.
Exploring.
All their fingers all tore up and clipped from making flower arrangements.
Thorns.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're now live. Snakes and Stogies, episode 49. My name is Phil Wolf, and I'm joined by Mr. and Mrs. Smith now.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, kids.
I'm tired.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start before the wedding? You want to start after the wedding? I want to hear about the honeymoon. I want to hear about, Schmitty losing his virginity. I got to hear all about it. So
even your dog wants to.
He knows what's up.
Thank you, Mike.
Justin's virginity was taken successfully.
You deflowered him like a professional.
Gently.
Firm but gentle.
Firm but gentle.
Mm-hmm.
He liked
the
it.
best 8 seconds of your life.
Yep.
So we had the wedding episode of Snakes and Stogies, which was super cool. Kind of awkward because I didn't know where to look.
Where was it?
We did it at Mom and Dad's when you kicked us out of the house.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yep.
I hadn't even watched that one. I didn't know, so I could to troll you. Oh, Mom!
So, oh wow, Mom is in here. That's pretty cool. What's up, Mrs. Smith? Oh, there's 2 of you now.
Did Justin tell you what my dad said when he texted him for your number?
No.
He said, you gotta show it to him. You gotta show it to him.
Well, I told you what your father said to me about Justin, right?
That he's a real man.
Yes, your father, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, I'm very happy that my daughter met Justin because Justin is a real man. Not like most of the kids in this generation. He's a real
Not like you, Phil. I'm kidding.
I was like, man, that's like the best thing a father-in-law could ever say.
That is.
Oh, I forgot you gave Dad a cookie.
That is a really nice thing to say.
So Bill texted me and said, send me snake emoji and like an ampersand, a little smoke cloud, Phil's contact information, please.
That's good. That's awesome.
So does he know that he can go on YouTube and watch this? Did you guys tell him about the
Your dad?
Snakes and Stogies?
Of course. Well, I mentioned it. We talked about it at the wedding. I sat next to the guy at the dinner table, for Christ's sake.
I gotcha.
I was like, you know what?
There were dinner tables?
There were.
You know what I mean.
I was eating standing up in the kitchen, so.
Oh, you didn't? I sit down. I was afraid of dropping it on my wedding dress.
Oh.
So tell us about the honeymoon.
Honeymoon was fun. Went to Chimney Rock, which is like 45 minutes outside of Asheville.
Nice. Is that by Mill Springs?
What?
Where?
Mill Springs.
That doesn't ring a bell.
My parents live in Mill Springs, I think it's by Chimney Rock.
Justin was ready to give up on Chimney Rock the first night.
Really?
Everything was closed. It's kind of like here.
Except worse.
The sidewalks roll up about 5 p.m., except for a few places to eat. But it's nice during the day. It's very touristy during the day. And there's lots of cool things to see.
Nice.
Nature-wise.
So real quick, what are you smoking?
300 Manos Maduro.
Nice. Never heard of it.
It's Southern Draw. It's one of their smokes. It's called 300 hands because a minimum of 300 hands are what are used to grow and roll cigars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me a little apprehensive to put it in my mouth.
I was about to say,
It's fun.
300 hands have touched it.
Yeah. That's how you get COVID, kids.
Yeah.
So you did the Chimney Rock the first night, and from there, where'd you go?
No, we did Well, we got there late Sunday. So
We didn't leave town.
I took my man to Chili's
Yeah.
Sunday night, courtesy of the gift cards that I got from Mama Shelley. And he was super excited about it. I got a picture of him enjoying his chicken nuggets.
Chicken crispers.
Chicken crispers. And by the way,
Honey Chipotle chicken crispers.
I'm glad he enjoyed it, Mama Shelley. I'm glad he enjoyed it. Look at that guy. Look at that guy with him. Look at that happy.
Look at that satisfied face.
What kind of sugar tea did you get?
I just got sweet tea.
Oh, because you gotta get like the raspberry, the mango.
No.
No,
Normal.
you did
sweet
that one
tea.
time though, and I think you drank more of that tea than
That was
you
like
did.
Ren.
Was that Ren?
There's a place downtown that does this awesome, like it's tea, but it's got like some peach and like a little sliver of orange and a strawberry slice and then some mint leaves, and it's like
We gotta take Phil there
super
next
good.
time he comes.
Nice.
Phil to Ren.
An aristocrat.
And then we did Asheville Monday. And Asheville was cool. We went downtown. And
saw my first all gender bathroom,
Nice. Good for you.
which I mean, any bathroom can be an all gender bathroom.
Was there a
Willing
chicken
to make
table?
it. I don't remember. I had to pee so bad. I was like, I didn't even care.
Yeah.
but then tell him about the Scar Lounge we went and saw.
We did go to. So we made a couple stops. There's a handful of shops in like downtown Asheville. Only one of them is a lounge, and that's the one we ended up hanging out at. We did stop into some of the other ones. One of them was like Carolina Cigar Company, I think, and he carries most of his own brand. I didn't buy any to try. Kind of should have, but I was also kind of on the fence because they didn't look like they were really anything to write home about.
You never know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those no band sleepers are the best.
Then we stopped at another shop that was more or less like a head shop, and they had like a walk-in, but their selection was decent. Nothing too crazy. Thanks, Andy. And Mike, I have some dye I keep in my pocket that I roll when I want to decide. But then we went to that cigar lounge. It was called Boomers Bourbon and Cigars, and it's like a straight up bar.
Was everyone over the age of 60?
No, we were like the only ones there at first because they didn't open until 5.
No, but there's a bunch of young people that came in.
No.
They had, it was great. I would have gone back just to hang out. The ambiance was cool.
Good.
It confirmed my whole thesis on cigar shops of there's shops that they either have a really awesome lounge and a very subpar selection as far as smokes, and then there's shops that have awesome selection and inventory of smokes, but the lounge is kind of meh.
Yeah.
And this one had an awesome lounge, but they had like a single cabinet of cigars.
I was so surprised by that.
It was fairly run-of-the-mill, like Romeo's. I smoked a McAuliffe torpedo of some kind. I don't remember what it was. It burned super fast. It was rolled really loose like a Patron. And then I smoked a Leaf Corojo.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then he made drinks. Like they have a little drink menu. and I got something that was like a play off an old fashioned, but I watched dude make it, and it was literally like 3 fingers of freaking rye.
I didn't know when he was going to stop
and I
pouring.
was just looking at it like, oh. So by the time we left there, I was feeling pretty good.
We were both feeling pretty good because my champagne cocktail had champagne and vodka in it.
And it sucks because Asheville has a lot of slopes. And so trying to walk while slightly intoxicated.
I was going to say, we probably not driving.
No.
I can appreciate that Katie got a champagne cocktail because that drink is almost forgotten about, and it's quite good.
I love champagne. It's my favorite.
She does.
I love champagne.
She does drink it a lot.
I like to pop the cork. I think it's a lot of fun when it goes.
Especially when you point it at someone's eyeball.
Which I have never done to you.
Katie, you're the person that goes to brunch at 3 p.m. for all-day mimosas. I just want to get some mimosas, my girlfriend.
I just want to
dance.
Bottomless mimosas.
Bottomless.
You need to go to, whenever we go to P and Cody's again, you need to have a man-mosa.
What is that?
That is shock top with orange juice. If you get the ratio right, it's actually very good.
Nice. Interesting.
It is interesting, but he is like a pro at making those things.
All right. Well, he is awesome, so we should do that. Most definitely. So you guys did your mountain excursions. Did you do anything outdoorsy or no?
Yes, Dominique, we can get mimosas. We had really good intentions of hiking a trail.
Didn't happen.
It never happened. We went and sat on some nice rocks.
Yeah, so like Chimney Rock, it's
called the Broad River. And
is it actually a river?
Yes, because it flows all through the mountain. Like you can follow this
There's
river.
Like a waterfall that comes down off this mountain that you can see. And then it all zigzags down the mountain or whatever, and it goes where it goes. But then there's a river at the bottom, and there's a ton of these just massive, like, rock. Yeah, there you go. Like rocks the size of cars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we ended up just hanging out and sitting on some of those rocks for
like an hour at
least.
Oh, this is his grandma craft picture.
I need to get that and post it still.
Pick of the day.
Yeah.
Let me send that to you right now.
But it was nice. Like the weather was nice, just like with the wedding. The weather was perfect. Didn't have any rain the entire time we were up there.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Justin found his people.
Nice. That's awesome.
I want you to look at this face.
That is, you need to send me that right now. That needs to be
my people need ammo
right now. Yes. Yes. Did you flip any rocks and look for salamanders or newts?
No.
Those rocks are so big. There's a lot of people there too. I mean, it probably wouldn't have.
I did stick my feet in the water and it was freezing.
Nice.
But it was really pretty. I would like to go back again and hike Chimney Rock. It is 500 steps.
She was like, "You want to go hike 500 steps?"
Okay.
Said, hell no.
They got an elevator.
The elevator ain't up right now. The elevator ain't
Somebody.
COVID.
Okay, so my friend's wife is very much into hiking, like legit hiking. And she was telling me about these hikers that they count steps. It's like, oh, this one's 1,000 steps, this one's 3,000 steps. And all I can think about is, well, are there stairs? Because, like, when I go hiking, we just measure it in kilometers or miles or however far it is. And I think it's interesting. Because, like, I think last time I went on, like, a legit, mountain excursion, I mean, I don't even know how many steps we did. We did, like, 13, 14 miles in the first day. So, like, I don't know how you measure that. How many steps is that? Now I'm curious.
I don't know. I have no idea. It depends on how big your strides are.
It wasn't 13 miles. I'm exaggerating. I think it was like a mile to the base, and then it was like 6 or 7 miles up. I don't remember. Anyway, now I'm curious. Now I have to go back on my phone. I have to go to the iPhone little heart app and see how many steps that was.
It was nice. We were out in like this little tiny house in the middle of nowhere that we did not get murdered in, which I thought was pleasant.
Did you walk around naked?
No.
Justin did run into the doorway during the middling of the night.
They had it was a tiny house, so it has these little sliding doors,
Pocket
right?
doors.
Sure.
They go in the pocket.
And if you ain't paying attention, you're half asleep.
You bounce off one.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. I really am.
It was
a hell of a day.
It was a nice time.
It was a nice week.
I could have stayed a little.
I was ready to be back.
You wanted to get back to those things.
I'm a routine guy. Gotta get back to the routine.
Well, did I tell you that I almost got, or in my personal opinion, I almost got carjacked in Beaufort?
Really?
When?
So,
where were you? Is the first question.
About to get, all right. You know when you take, you're exiting the island, or you've exited the island. Now you're in Beaufort, and you're driving past the shop, and there's that bend, right?
Curve.
So you take that curve and you go down, and like right when it starts to open up, and like it gets to be more, and there's like 3 lanes, I think it is. There's a light there before that Dunkin' Donuts that we went to. Mm-hmm. I'm at one of those lights about maybe a quarter of a mile from the Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm at the red light, and I have the windows down. I'm smoking a cigarette. I got the music blasting, and this homeless-looking guy starts walking up from the adjacent corner of the intersection, and I'm like, oh God, he's gonna talk to me. I know he is. And he goes, "Hey you, hey you," and I just ignored him. And then he comes up to the median, and he's like within like spitting distance, and he's like, "Yo, man, let me get a ride to Walmart." And I was like, "No, man, I can't do that." And he puts both his hands,
slowly roll up the window.
No, he puts both his hands in his pockets, in his like hoodie pockets, and he's got stuff in there. And he does one of these. He's looking at me. He puts his hands in his pocket, goes, and then green light, and I just went. And I was like, not going to do this. I'm not going to do this.
Not today.
I was like, if this was South Florida, it'd be very different.
That is so crazy. Because
the town is so quaint and cute and like harmless looking. And then I was like, well, look at this dude trying to roll me. Yeah. Hilarious.
That's so crazy.
Well, apparently there's a new law in Beaufort where if you're homeless and you're like panhandling,
they can remove you.
You can ask people nicely, but you can't ask them like over and over again, or they'll remove you. So it's like you can ask for money like a little bit, but if you're aggressive about it, the cops can. That's now an offense. Yeah, we had a homeless dude that was like a Vietnam vet, and he was pretty nuts.
This guy
died a couple years ago.
Drug addict.
Yeah. Well, they wanted to put a statue up of this guy after he died. It's like, we're going to put a statue up of a guy who literally just walked around and took people's money for
that's
no
nuts.
reason. Yeah. But Phil did get to see both shops.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. He got to hang out at the house. He got to hang out at my parents' house.
By the way,
that's where we did the last episode.
I can't thank your parents enough for their hospitality. They are wonderful individuals.
They like you a lot.
I was about to say, I think the feelings are mutual.
They're awesome. Your parents are phenomenal. Both of your parents are phenomenal. You guys have legit awesome parents.
Me like them.
Apparently, that's a rarity.
It
It is a rarity.
I wouldn't.
But yes, but most definitely kudos to Justin's parents for putting me up and being awesome, and coffee and food and friendliness and just awesome people, man.
They are. They're the best.
Yeah.
Everything worked out. We were very happy with the reception and the ceremony.
Did you have fun at the wedding?
Everything was
it fun?
Completely. Absolutely. It was a blast. It was a
That's
blast.
what I just wanted everyone to have fun.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed all the cigars disappeared.
I was bummed that nobody wanted to dance.
That was the point.
Yeah, but I was like expecting at least to have some left over. I managed to score like 2, pocketed them.
Did Corey give you? He said
He did.
I realized that I smoked 16 cigars in about 75, 72 hours.
Did your lungs feel like they were charred?
No.
No, because you don't inhale them.
You would have to inhale a little bit.
No, you
have
don't.
to.
No.
It just
I didn't
happens.
inhale any of that just now.
It just
But
happens.
But I think that was the most cigars I've consumed in that short of time.
Bye, Dom.
Bye, Dom. And Scott says that he can't believe there was no herping. There was herping. There was definitively herping. And
I think you meant the honeymoon.
Yeah,
the honeymoon? Oh, well, yeah.
It was too cool up there, and I know North Carolina has some odd laws, so I was like, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, we all
not
can't
gonna
just go find Australopithecus superbus in the cold-ass mountains and snow and shit. Scott.
Did Justin tell you I found a coral snake?
I didn't know that you found it.
I found it.
And why
Saw
would
it right out of the corner of my eye.
I was gonna say if finding it entails, oh hey look, a coral snake.
that counts?
That counts.
I've never found one in the wild, ever.
I found a wild one.
Scott says, all I'm hearing is excuses.
I've just come to the conclusion that Scott is just the Australian nipper. I feel like that's very accurate. Like
that is literally what it's become, and I love him for it.
Does Nipper ever tune in on?
No, because it's like 4 a.m. where he's at least.
Yeah, it's like noon for
He's
Scott.
gotta sleep.
It is. I do find it incredibly warm and uplifting when Scott and Nipper both harass me on the internet together. Like that just makes me feel legit complete. Like I've succeeded in this world that 2 of my herpetoculture idols get to break my balls on the regular. I love it.
Feels so good.
You guys should meet halfway somewhere and have a party.
What is halfway between Australia and the UK?
Here.
Hawaii? No. Mexico? Mexico-ish?
Florida.
No, I'd say Mexico. Florida's too far east.
But I did go back to try and find that coral snake.
And?
I mean, it's like prime, super soft soil. Like it's almost like spongy. When you walk on it, you can feel your feet sort of sinking into it. So it's the big magnolia tree.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of leaves. I was like, this is like prime. This is a coral snake's wet dream, dude.
Legit.
So I went back and looked around a little bit for them. It was like the day before yesterday? Yesterday. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I did go look around, and I didn't expect to find it again, but it's one of our neighbors, and so it was kind of funny because she's like, oh, I see coral snakes all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you see coral snakes. You see scarlet snakes or scarlet kings. And then she sent me that picture, and I was like, oh, she actually does see coral snakes.
Nice.
It was actually really funny because she was panicking. And she's like, get Justin to come get it. And I was like, he's at work. And she goes, her whole face just fell. And I was like, I'm sorry.
I was talking
like, if you
to
don't
her.
bother him, he won't bother you.
I was telling her, I was like, it kind of takes a pretty good bit to really get a coral
Just
snake
get the
going. I
dogs
was like,
inside
they
and-
literally are like some of the shyest snakes. They just
And it's like I like telling people, it's like, oh, you saw one? That means there's 8 more in your yard that you'll never see.
Sweet.
It means that there's
Super excited about that.
in your yard as we speak, and no one will ever see them. What's up, Dallas?
Well, it was weird because they also saw it at like 10:30, 10:45 in the morning,
Really?
which I thought, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That's how I saw it so good. I was
And
fully
yes,
awake by then.
Scott says Galapagos. That would be halfway.
We
And
can
that
all
was
dress up like Darwin,
epic. I would totally do that in a New York minute.
catch
I'll
finches, and
I'll
study
go.
them.
Dude, I literally was going to say I will bring my own bird cage for a finch. Fucking great minds think alike.
But we did a little herping
When?
at Mom and Dad's.
Oh.
We
The
did.
night you kicked us out.
I thought you were
And I
talking
took
about me.
this
I was like,
phenomenal photo of Justin. I got to be honest. I really love this photo of Justin. And I'm so happy that I took this picture. Where the hell is it?
It was an omen. A good one, I guess. Or omen's generally bad.
No, it was a sign is what it
we
was.
have a good omen and a bad omen.
I don't know. But basically, we found a southeastern crown snake, which is pretty cool. It's Tantilla coronata. I haven't seen one of those in a very, very, very long time. And so it was cool to flip a rock. And there one was.
I've never seen one
So
before.
the night before I'm getting married. Yeah.
How awesome is that picture? I think it's a great picture. I wish the
I'm wearing that shirt right now.
I wish the background was black so you could see the photo better. But that photo, like, that photo has depth. It has feeling to it.
With your headlamp.
It literally is just, it's just an awesome photo. And then here, I got one of the specimen close up. There you go.
Look at that little guy.
Yep. A snake with a ring the day before you get married. I love it.
Yeah. He was waiting on some centipedes to nibble. But that was we were way more excited about that than we probably should have been.
We were. Dude, that
It
I'm
was like
sorry,
a little
man.
tiny ass snake. We're both in the middle of the woods at midnight going, "Oh my god, dude!"
Well, that's
Look at my
it.
snake.
We lifted that rock up, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a worm." And you're like, "Dude, I think that's Tantilla. That's Tantilla. That's Tantilla. Get it." And that was it, man. What's up, Danny?
Twilliger.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Was fun.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it all. I was glad when everything was kind of over because it was like no more planning, no, not like that. Or you getting all upset. I'm saying no more decisions about the wedding. No more.
About where we
No
wanna
more.
do the
Hey,
move
we gotta
stuff.
buy this. Like, hey, we gotta get this. It's just we did it. It's over.
Look at that. There it is. Look at that shit. You guys feel any different?
Everyone asks us that. No,
I do.
Good. That's the way it should be.
I don't in any like major capacity.
It feels nice.
It's more solidified, and now that there's nowhere I can run.
You're stuck with me.
Trapped like rats. Speaking of, I did a deep clean on the mice today, and it felt really good.
Yeah?
Don't know why.
Because you're psychotic?
There's just something about having clean mice and clean tubs and a clean water reservoir and all that stuff. It's just
That sounds very Australia. Like
What?
that's the epitome of Australia to me.
What did Scott say?
said, so I got told no catching venomous 48 hours before my wedding, 3 a.m. in the morning of the Arvo wedding. Me and my best man are in the swamp chasing snakes and frogs.
Australia. Hashtag.
I mean, we did the same
Right.
thing. We just didn't find any crazy shit. We did.
Y'all came pretty close to a swamp, I'm sure, because there's several of them.
We didn't really.
No,
Venture.
Ryan, the only close call, everything was smooth sailing, except at the very last minute, I'm sitting in the car waiting to be told when to walk down the aisle. And Steve, Justin's dad, comes and says, "Where are the rings?" And I hand him the ring box. And he walks away, and then he comes walking back. He goes, "There's no rings in this ring box." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yep." And he opens it, and it's empty. And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, where are the rings? Oh my God." And the last person I knew had them was the photographer, and I watched her put them in the box and then put the box in my bag. And my mom had them. I don't know why. She took them out of the box and was just holding them, ready to hand them to someone.
Give everybody a heart attack.
That was it.
Because her ring is like a family ring from like the 60s.
It's antique.
So
Cool.
I think that's not how. Jesus.
That's not one I want to lose. Justin got me a rubber ring when I was still working at the hospital because I was terrified I was going to pull a glove off and the diamond was going to fall out or get snatched off my hand and I'd throw it in the garbage. Or I was like, I'm not risking great grandma's ring.
Smart.
So.
See, man, I'm afraid that if I ever find a girl that's willing to deal with my bullshit forever, I hate wearing rings.
It's definitely an adjustment.
Yeah.
But he likes it because he gets to tap it on stuff.
Okay.
Like President Underwood.
Well,
I would just take it off and then get yelled at.
who's President Underwood? I mean, I take it off at night because you know how like your fingers and stuff swell. I ain't trying to wake up to a finger that looks like I got bit by an Aatrox.
That's true. That is true.
So, and I took it off earlier when I was cleaning mice too, because I was like, I really don't want to get this all gross and moused up, you know.
Yeah. Moused up.
You don't wear gloves?
I do, but I took it off because I also didn't want it to like get in the way. So.
I don't think there's going to be any pictures where snakes are in them for the wedding.
Phil really dropped the ball there.
We dropped the ball on what?
We could have totally had chondros in our wedding pictures. I tried to get her. I have 2 little chondro pins that are the same. I totally tried to convince her to let me put them on my
lapel.
Yeah, like one on each side, and she completely denied me. And they're like super small. Like no one would have even noticed. The green would have really popped on that dark blue suit.
With your Pitiophis bolo.
I did my Pitiophis bow tie.
Pretty sweet.
That was pretty cool.
That was my mom. There's a guy in Las Vegas who makes all kinds of snakeskin stuff.
Mike, I'm not a chondro hater. It's just not for me. Although I do have a new Jag that I am going to contemplate pairing with a chondro in the future. On principle.
Some men just like to watch the world burn.
Yes.
I am on the verge of cooling a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah?
So,
Good.
Okay.
Good night, Mrs. Smith.
Good night.
So I got that pair of bears that I'm gonna try again. And
Cool.
hopefully not jack up incubation again.
Good.
Corns.
How's my Saiyan?
Which one? What?
How's my eggs?
Oh, they're fine.
Good.
Those are due to hatch next month. I'm thinking between the middle or end of the month.
Cool.
But they're looking good. So chondro eggs, I think I might be expecting some within the next couple weeks, just given that my pair is pretty much gone off being attached to each other, and female's been doing a little bit of swelling and stuff. So I think we're on the right track there. I'm probably going to pair the Cyanea again after this clutch hatches, so probably in December they'll go back together.
Sweet.
So bears, horns, more Cyanea, more chondros. I need to weigh my female Western hog and see where she's at. I know she's still at a pretty good way to go weight wise.
Like 2,000 grams, right?
Huh?
Like 2,000 grams, right?
Yeah. So those I may pair at some point, but those are also kind of on the list of things that I've contemplated moving just because they're non-essential sort of personnel. But if everything goes according to plan, it will be quite the season. So
it sounds like it will be.
I gotta pee real quick.
And yes, Dan, you should definitely do your albino Darwin and your Brettles because that will look awesome. That will look phenomenal. Yeah, I came back from the wedding and I actually was checking up on my stuff, and both they're yearling now, which is crazy. Yearling Darwins, and they just get lighter and lighter and lighter, and they're just awesome. And like, they're not my favorite, but they're like becoming my favorite, if that makes any sense. And yes, Sean, welcome to the party, my friend. And I know albino Bredli are a thing, and they're phenomenal looking. And Ryan Cox was actually just sending us pictures recently about them. They looked fucking cool. So, yeah. I just this afternoon finally bought the adhesive Velcro, excuse me, for my new Cloud Forest designed venomous labels. So for those of you who are unaware, I asked the fine folks at Cloud Forest Design to make me their classic labels for my venomous species. Per the Florida law, it has to say danger venomous reptile, verbatim. And then it has to have the common name, the scientific name. And then I chose that instead of having the ICUN red list, endangered status on the bottom, cut back some of those scientific facts, because let's face it, no one wants my collection, and put the actual antivenoms for each species. That way, I can peel the label off with the Velcro and take it with me. So I was actually just doing that before I came on the show.
Speaking of Boiga. Will you explain to me what was going on last night on the Facebook machine?
Yes. So, for those of you who are unaware, there is a Facebook group called Venomous Reptiles Mentorship, I think it is. And it basically was started by a guy named Dr. E, who is an actual doctorate, and he's a professor of herpetology, I believe, in Arizona. And Dr. E has been doing herpetological stuff for as long as I can remember. The guy's awesome. And he keeps all kinds of high-speed stuff, mambas, stuff like that. He also does a bunch of rattlesnakes and vipers, but he started this page basically to help people find mentors. So if you're in South Carolina and there is no license in South Carolina, but you want to get hours or you want to get experience with an actual mentor, you can chat with folks and whatever else. And when I started in the group, it was a few years ago, and it was maybe around 12 or 1,300 people in there. And it was great because there was really no riffraff. It was very much a legitimate, serious community who could still joke and have fun. Yes, Scott Thomas. So basically, the group has blown up. And I believe there's over 6,000 members now. And there's a lot of people in there that don't keep venomous. There's a lot of people in there that are thinking about keeping venomous. There's a lot of yahoos who honestly shouldn't have venomous. But every once in a while, if something happens in my life that I feel might be constructive to the venomous community, I will post a post about it. Oh, my rattlesnake did this, or oh, my cobra did that. And hey, for those of you who don't know, be advised, this can happen. So last night, I was doing some spot cleaning, and I changed out a bunch of substrate, and I have my big Boiga Cynodon in a display vision cage. It's a 3 by 2 by 2. It's like a big giant screen. And it's still in, for lack of a better word, it's still in quarantine. So I have paper towels, and I have a bunch of fake plants and some, dried out grapevine, and I have a black plastic hide box. I have a small rock cave, and I have a big rock water dish, and I kind of made it all bushy as I could. Well, normally, this snake lives in its black hide cave. And because it's Boiga, I'm a little more lax with it. You know what I mean? It's still venomous. It's still potentially dangerous. But I'm not going to treat it like a rattlesnake or a cobra that's going to lash out and be defensive, because it's a Boiga. So I unlock the cage. It is key locked. I open the glass with my hand, and then I reach my hand and I touch the black cave because I'm going to lift the cave up to expose the snake, and then I can use a hook to remove the animal. But I get this feeling like I'm being watched. So I stop, and I kind of poke my head around the corner because my roommate oftentimes will like sneak in the room just to hang out or talk or whatever. But he always makes sure I don't have like something on the hook that I would be distracted and then, get injured or hurt or killed or whatever. So I thought it was him creeping in. So I turn and I look, and the door's closed. And I'm like, okay, something's watching me. And I turn behind me and I look, and I'm like, what's going on? And I look back at the cage, and literally this is what I see. I'll show the picture. So this animal was sitting here the entire time in plain sight, and I had no idea because it blended in with that grapevine so perfect. And I realized that I made a horrible, horrible mistake. I assumed the animal was in there, and due to its honestly phenomenal camouflage, it's not like it posed there after I opened the cage. No, it was there the whole time. And here, let me go. So if you can see, here's the main body of the animal, and then it kind of ropes back around here, and then it S's up, and here's the actual snake's head right here. And he or she, I haven't sexed it yet, it was watching me the whole time and just sitting there, just being patient, waiting to see what I was going to do. And so I posted a thing on this mentor group saying, hey, this animal's hiding in plain sight right in front of me. And thank God it wasn't something more.
If it was a snake, it would have bit me.
If it was a snake, it would have bit me now. So I put a post up saying, hey, and I tell the exact story about me feeling weird and looking around the corner and all that shit. And the people that chime in.
It's just a sign of dawn.
Well, first of all, it starts off with, that's a great thing you put up. Imagine if it was more dangerous. And now I have to tell my story about blah, 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 which is fine. People have to tell their story. I get it. And then certain individuals chime in basically saying that Boiga is not real venomous. And I don't even remember. I was so mad. I was so frustrated that they had to piss in my Cheerios, and B,
how's it taste?
Acidy. And then not only did they have to piss in my Cheerios, but the whole point of this was not to ridicule me or to say, oh, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. It was to show, hey, I've been doing this over a decade. Accidents still happen. Thank God it wasn't something more dangerous. Now, granted, I would not have opened the glass with my hand if it was more dangerous. I wouldn't have reached my hand in if it was more dangerous.
Would not have done if it were much more medically significant.
Correct. If it was more medically significant, I wouldn't have done any of that. But again, I still didn't see the animal. Now, granted, had I taken the time to do what I always do and look and find the animal first, that would have made things better. But because of my lackadaisicalness with the species itself, I made the mistake. Now, Scott, is basically apologizing. You don't have to apologize, Scott. I love you. I know you're breaking my balls. I know it's all in good fun. The other individuals that said some shit, they can felch acid for all.
Quote unquote veterans.
Yeah, quote unquote the veterans. The point was not for you. The point was A, to allow Scott to break my balls more. God bless him. And B, to tell the individuals who are new or getting into this or learning about this stuff to be mindful of these things. It wasn't for a bunch of veterans, quote unquote, to basically call me a moron. So I didn't retaliate. I didn't write anything. I just left it to go. I leave it on there. I'm not going to pull the post. What's the point in that? I'll leave it on.
You told me about it last night before I was going to bed.
Right.
And I got pretty fired up about it because I'm so tired of people playing off rear fang stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know how my cyanea are,
yes,
especially when it comes to food. My cyanea are still small compared to the big ones I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm not letting my hand or fingers be on the receiving end of what I've seen them do to mice. Where I've seen my female literally just grab an adult and just unload and hold on for literally like over a minute.
And that whole thing of like chewing on you is bullshit, man.
Bullshit. Complete.
It's gonna open its mouth wide enough that those fangs.
They do that when they gate. They're right there. Like everyone assumes because it's rear fang that they're like in their freaking esophagus.
Mm-mm.
And it's like, no, it just means they're a little farther back than a rattlesnake, which is like they're practically coming out the freaking nose at that point.
Yep.
So it was just one of those things where I'm like, dude. And my point with that was like, yeah, it's not real venom, and that's why Dr. Fry, didn't do a really extensive study on the whole genus and the venom and the three-finger toxins and there's a reason Nathaniel Frank, when we talked to him on THP about rear, because that was one thing I was really curious about when we had him on, was to talk about like Boiga, and he was in agreement that it's not taken seriously enough. And, talking to some other people that used to keep Boiga, and they don't. I mean, I'm not going to mention names because I don't know if they want to be mentioned or not, but
sure.
Someone I have a lot of respect for who breeds a ton of really cool stuff. They specialize in a lot of Asian stuff. And so I'm like, do you ever keep Boiga? And they said, I did at one point, but because of a bad bite from a dendro, whether it's a dendro or a melanota, I don't know, but because of a bad bite, he's like, I don't keep him anymore. And he said how lax people are with them is really surprising.
Yeah.
And I mean, that I'm going to take from someone who's been bitten and had a bad bite.
Yeah.
Someone who's been on the receiving end of that. And my other point was peanuts are, not dangerous to 99% of us, but there's going to be people where if they even freaking touch one, they die.
Yeah.
Just from the anaphylaxis. And so it's like the whole like tough guy thing of, it's not that bad. It's like, hey, well, I mean, if you want to roll those dice and find out if your body has a bad reaction to it, be my guest. But, this whole like, I'm going to hold my Boiga up to my face, or, I'm going to have this massive cyanea with a gigantic head, that's just an absolute monster of an individual, climbing around on me. It's just one of those things that's like, foreign protein is foreign protein.
Legit.
And it's so frustrating because, like I was telling you, like I want to get an article together, talking to some of these professionals that basically says, yeah, is it going to kill you? Probably not, but that does not mean handle them like a dickhead.
Exactly.
Whether it's Cynodon, which are traditionally known to be fairly mellow. My Cyanea are fairly trustworthy, but I'm not giving them the opportunity. It's just one of those things. It's like, what? It's yeah.
What did Jake say?
He said, trying to teach people an important lesson, and the Tiger King of reptiles tried to whip out his dick on you, Phil. He said, I'd be pissed too.
Thanks, Jake. I appreciate that sincerely.
And I mean, it is like, it's such a, with especially Boiga in particular. Like when I talk about rear fang, I'm talking about Boiga specifically.
Yes.
But I mean, even like your Phylodryas or anything like that, your false water cobras, even those. I mean, you talk to Zach Loffman.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, these like Mosseranas and false waters and stuff like that. He's like, those things are like, when food's around, I'm not getting bit by that.
Dude, I mean, we've all had that stuff, man. We've all seen how food aggressive it is. We've all seen what it does to a rat. I mean, and like my late mentor, he got bit by one of my false waters back in the day, and his hand swelled up like a catcher's mitt. He said it felt like someone put vinegar in his veins. He got a fever of like 102, yacked his guts up, and felt shitty for 3 days. But at the same time, he didn't die. But if he was allergic to bees, he probably would have died.
That brings up the next topic of, if you get bit again,
yeah, exactly.
Are you going to have a worse reaction like you would with, being sensitized to, any lapids or anything like that? Everyone talks about spitting cobras and how over time they just get sort of sensitized to it because of those microparticles and stuff in the air of a room when you're working with them. And, you don't even have to get bit, and you could get to a point where if you get bit, you are screwed. Like you are unless you got an EpiPen handy or something that can at least buy you a little bit of time, like you're done.
Yeah, dude, that's me, man. I've dealt with enough spitting cobra, dry venom, and poop that I'm convinced that I am marginally allergic to it. You know, that one time that the siamensis spat on my leg and my leg got hot and itchy. Like, that's happened countless times to me on my arms, on my neck, like up in here, like, and I just wash it off, no big deal. But that time, it finally clicked. So now, like with my spitters, I'm super duper chill and relaxed, and like I just posted a video on Instagram of like a couple of those cobras hooding up, watching the cell phone at the same time. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this over here. You know what I mean? Because God forbid they blast it. I'd rather have it in the hand or whatever than on me. So, and Scott makes a great point. Like I know, Scott, I know that you were busting chops. I love you, brother. I don't take anything like that personally. But Scott said it. We all fuck up sometimes. You know, just it depends on what level of fuck up you do. And when we do have a fuck up, as minor as mine was, I still wanted to post it to tell people, hey, pay attention, because things happen. You know,
well, that's,
you get complacent and shit
that's
happens.
why, like with my cyanid, because like I said, the female especially, because I know how food responsive she is. Like when I open that cage, I make sure I know where they are before I just reach in there and start grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know 90% of the time they're going to be in the elevated hide and mounted. But I've seen that female, like she has her nose right there at the opening. And if I open that tub, I've seen her just come just straight out, ready to go. And
arboreal Velcro.
I've seen bites from smaller cyanea that were pretty substantial. And cyanea are one of those species of boiga that really do get written off a lot more than the other ones. I think even in O'Shea's recent book, he has them labeled as like practically non-venomous.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was surprising because I was like, it's Mark O'Shea. Like, you should.
Yeah.
He's probably spent more time in Indo in that region of the world than a lot of people. Like, why would you?
So much that he is now allergic to almost everything, and that's why he stays in the laboratory. He didn't do field work anymore because he's so allergic to everything.
But going back to like what I was talking about with the boy, it's a fine line. Like, yes, I understand most can be handled, no problem. Most, like, you're not likely to die or have any serious injury as a result. But it's just like, why take the risk? I mean, I sent you that picture of me tubing that female cyanea because she had shed while we were gone.
Yeah.
And so I tube her to make sure, you know, tail tips, because tail tips with those when shed is you're almost guaranteed to have some stuck there.
I know it all too well as of recently.
Yes. And so I tube her whenever I need to check her over or peel anything off. And it's easier on the snake. It's easier on me. And yeah, what Cox said, he said, you know, well, you guys keep mentioning food, but even when it's not food mode, I mean, we've all seen the Woma bite where they nuzzle you and chomp, you know, like free handling boiga is a risk period. And it is. But I mean, even I hate to be the guy that like harps on hog noses and stuff, because I mean, we all know that the risk there is very low, but regardless, it's still, I've seen even Jake got bit by a Western hog, and he said the actual bite itself was freaking painful. Like the actual, not just the envenomation itself, but the actual puncturing and the.
Yeah.
He said it sucks. It hurt.
Cox said it perfect. Cox says foreign proteins are foreign in capital letters. That's it. That's it. And then come to think of it, after I had my little signed it on infinite, you know, I took her out and put her in the trash can and spot cleaned or whatever else, topped off her water bowl, and then I go to take her out. I'm like, you know what? Let me stretch her out and really see. That animal is I'm short. I'm 5'6". That animal is as long as I am, if not possibly longer, because you know how they kind of stretch you up, you know, when you're taking them out. But I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this animal is as tall as I am. And it can literally flip around 360 degrees on 80% of its body and grab me. You know?
But I'm like you. Like, yeah, I'm not going to handle it like I handled an Aatrox. Like, I'm not going to be
right
uber, super. Like, I use a hook regardless with them. Just period. I keep the head away from me. Like, I have them, rear half of the body going into a tub while I clean, whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not going to treat it like an Aatrox. But I'm also not just going to go in there and grab it like it's a corn snake and just hope for the best. It's exhausting because it's got to the point where it's like these things still have the ability to cause bodily harm.
So Scott just sent me some photos of a medically significant elapid, and I'm assuming that when he means medically significant, it's not it's not a king brown. It's something.
One of those
Australia has lots of small oddball elapids that are typically not even encountered by humans. But Scott, is this you, by the way, or is this? I have permission to post these pictures because I think it's got the dude's face in it. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like crap. I'll wait till he replies. But yeah, these pictures he just sent me is basically the anaphylaxis, and you can see the hives and the redness and the swelling of everything, and his face looks not good.
I mean, if you look at some of these large boiga, like that snake has a decent yield, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be rear fanged or mildly venomous. That's still a lot of foreign protein being pumped into your body.
Right.
I mean, see if this comes up.
I was gonna say, Scott, that honestly looked like you, and I was like, it's got to be an old picture. And what was the elapid, Scott, by the way, that bit you? See the pictures, Justin?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's cool. So we have some arm rash. You can see some hives up in here. Obviously, discoloration. This is all from allergic reaction. There's his chest.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, that is not fun looking, man, at all. I can't imagine what that must have felt like. And the piece de resistance, children, the face. You don't look happy there, bud. You don't look happy.
Looks like you need some Benadryl, buddy.
Here, take a Claritin or something.
Look at that.
Oof.
There's an old post from 2011 about a mangrove bite that's pretty gnarly, but I can't seem to find the actual pictures.
He says that was a hemiaspis, which is in 2005. Wow. 2005, Jesus, so long ago. Ugh. So now we have to show people what the hemiaspis looks like.
I mean, this. Let's see, snake bite. Like this was a mangrove bite, and I mean that's like the initial. But I mean that's. Look at that. I mean, that's pretty substantial.
Yeah. There's actually a bite floating around, a bite picture floating around of some guy's hand. Actually, scroll up a little bit. Yeah, that's the picture I was looking for.
Yeah.
So that picture of the hand with the blackness and the red with the red line, that picture, people always say that it's a Crotalus atrox, and it's not. It's Boiga dendrophila. And nobody.
The initial post.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a medically significant bite. That is a bite where if I saw that, I'd be like, "Okay, it's time to go to the hospital."
I would have gone to
And
the
at
hospital
least,
for that shit.
yeah, like that's freaking hematoma.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just.
And dude, like I'm not allergic to bees. I'm not allergic to scorpions. You know, I kept a lot of arachnids for a long time. I've been stung by a few things. I've been stung by some pretty hot scorpions too. Sadly to say, accidents happen, but nothing that I need an antivenom for or anything. But I'm pretty good in the fact that I'm not allergic to those things. But like that doesn't mean I'm going to go play in a beehive.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm just going to start holding death stalkers. Like it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Trying to see what else I can find.
But yeah, I think the whole Facebook thing is very, very out of hand. It is not just my story, my opinion is better than yours. I have to tell it. It's also a one-upping scenario. It's, oh, well, I almost, oh, you stuck your hand in with a Boigo on accident. Well, I stuck my hand in with an Atrox on accident. Well, that's not, you're missing the point. That's not the point of the post. The post was to share and say, hey, accidents happen. We need to be more conscientious of this stuff. So I think that's what got me all fired up was obviously the veterans telling me that Boiga are not medically significant and people just not getting it. They just don't care. They just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, and this is a pretty infamous Western hognose bite. I mean, that's like a lot of us have seen this. Like that's a Western hognose. Like that's.
Oof.
And I don't know. I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but
we are.
It's incredibly frustrating though when you have people that have been in the industry for a very long time that basically just sort of discount that kind of stuff when it's like they of all people should know better.
Yeah. And then I'm torn too because we have certain individuals that we're very good friends with that have posted videos of them being bitten by baby snakes that are rear-fanged, whether it be Boiga or Hydrodynastis or whatever. And you'll notice that, yeah, they're getting bit, but the envenomation factor isn't there. It's not a legitimate envenomation. They're not actually getting any venom. And if they are, it's such a minute trace amount that it's really not going to do anything. You'll never see them do that stuff with an adult or a juvenile or a yearling. You just won't because they know better. And it's like I'm torn because like I see this baby snake handling and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I understand it. But a lot of people might not. So I'm kind of not comfortable with it. But at the same time, God bless you. At the same time, it's not that big a deal.
Well, I mean, even with neonates, like I'm going to come to find one of these Cyanea hatch, when you're assist feeding tails, which I'm hoping I won't have to do now that since I have the Vittatus froglets to sort of, I'm going to try and scent first.
Right.
But like when you have to handle them to get a tail in, I'm like, I have my little tricks for doing it. That when I had to do it with my pair, it wasn't hard. Like I did it without any issues. Like is a neonate Cyanea gonna do anything? Probably not. But at the same time, if I were to get a legitimate bite from one of those, it would be interesting to see exactly what would happen, what the effects are from something that small. But
and not to be insulting, but you're a big guy. You're 6'2", right? 6'3"?
6'4".
6'4". Jesus. All right. So you're a big guy. The way that your body is going to handle that venom is totally different than, say, your daughter, or even say me.
Right.
Granted, I'm a fat bastard. I probably weigh as much as you, and I'm only 5'6". But the mass of the body is going to handle things differently, and people don't even consider that either. You know, I see these girls in Europe, they're 98 pounds, 110 pounds, and they got melanota wrapped around their neck. I'm like, this is no bueno. It's going to bite you in the face, and you're going to have permanent Botox. Legit.
I don't know. And it's just, as someone who genuinely loves the genus and really enjoys keeping them, like they're really fun snakes. I really like them.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to see people that kind of just, the Instagrammers and stuff that just have one big melanota that, no, I'm going to handle it and be a dickhead. And, just, then people are going to see them at shows and be like, oh, I saw one of these on Instagram. I'm going to play with it. This person held it up on there and let it crawl on their face.
Yep.
Which, the whole Instagram thing, like, yeah, there is some influence there, but I would hope that people are smart enough, at least a majority, to see that and like free handling and be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But there is going to be a percentage that are going to be like, that's awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you, Jake, by the way. How about this guy with the Gaboon Viper around his neck in front of like a Radio Shack or something?
Dude.
You saw that?
Yes.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, first of all, how is he alive? Like, how, if I ever did that, if I ever tried to pick up any of my bittis, I'd be dead. Done. Dude, I gotta spray my Rhino Viper, like just, and the thing lashes out across the cage, mouth open. Yeah, like, come on.
What are you doing to me?
Yeah, and then it gets a mouthful of dirt, and I feel bad, and it's going like this. But while you find that horrible, horrible photo, I'm gonna refill my beverage.
All right. Of course, this photo is on the desolate wasteland we call Facebook, which it's on a page that, if you're not following, is actually fairly entertaining. It's Herp Creep of the Week. Let's see. Here we go. Just like there are no words. Apparently, this is the guy in question. So.
Oh God, what did I just walk into?
Dumbass with a death wish.
What's up, Jeff?
I mean, it's just so dumb. Like, why?
Yeah.
I would think that that's a Venomoid, but at the same time, I'm like, it probably isn't.
Now, also, he's wearing a hoodie. Now, I mean, I live in South Florida, and a lot of dudes wear hoodies in South Florida. I don't know how they do it. But he could be in a cold state where the animal is lethargic. I mean, who knows?
Well, there's a Texans decal on the back window there.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Who knows? That's not fake.
But the whole, like, me and my big boy popped out today. I love the way he interacts with the public.
Yeah.
God, dude.
By the way, seeing as how Jeff is here, tonight's show is brought to you by Puget Sound Pythons.
Hey.
Hey-o.
they just had some awesome Doomerals boas pop out of a bigger Doomerals boa.
First of all, why is Jeff not on right now with us?
I don't know.
Jeff, click the link and join us, my friend.
I wonder if this guy deleted his Facebook because I don't see him on here. Either that or he's another jackass that I had blocked a long time ago.
He could very well be dead.
I usually, like, when I see stupidity like that, I just flat out block people. I'm just not down with it. Look, even Jake Hansen says no. And you know those Australian dudes, man, they'll freaking tickle the nuts on a brown snake, and it's cool.
Henry said that Frolic, there you go.
Well,
have it, he would never do it again, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay.
If that ain't
the pot,
the tub calling the toilet bowl white.
Exactly.
Because somehow, I guess, if you look like Goku and Justin Bieber fucked, you have some sort of higher enlightenment when it comes to free handling things, that if any of the peasants do it, you're copying me. This is exactly why I say don't do what I do. Yeah, he looks like freaking Catwoman.
No, I was just checking my nails. Just checking my nails.
It's another guy I can't get behind, man.
But look, Jeff and Kendra are going to hop on next week.
Yeah.
That'll be fun as hell.
And I don't even like talking about him because then we're giving him freaking more.
Yeah, I'm changing the topic. I love about Jeff and Kendra.
It frustrates me so
They're
much.
a dynamic duo.
People destroying.
They're the dynamic last duo. And they're adorable.
I don't know if he's still here or not. Randy was here earlier. Randall.
I'm still waiting for Kendra to grow that sweet, sweet mustache. Then
and dreads.
They'll both match.
Oh, Cox has something for you.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
This 300 hands, by the way.
Yeah?
Surprisingly boring.
Really?
I mean, it's...
Meh.
It's a cigar.
It's a cigar. The Ashton was good, but it's burning a little wonky, so I left it alone for a minute. I'm going to try and correct it. So. Oh, Ryan Cox sent me a picture.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You know what? Let me open it on this.
Make sure it's not pornographic nature. God knows what Cox will send you.
It's a retic with breast implants. Hold on. Does my throat sound like exceptionally scratchy tonight?
Sounds like you.
Oh, God damn it. Who is that, Cox? I'm not putting that up.
I want to see it.
It's an... Oh, fine. I don't want to show this. I don't want the world to see it because it's making me uncomfortable.
Cox, at least just send it to me.
I literally have just pooped a kitten. Oh. Throw it up. Throw it on there.
Why? Why?
We have a young male individual holding what appears to be a yearling puff adder, and he is free handling it. And he is holding it as if it is a pissed off blood python. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking that. That is one way to die. That is one way to die. And I love puffs, man. Puffs are one of my favorite species, and I can confidently say I like puffs more than I like gaboons. There's just something about them, and their range is so vast. It's almost the entirety of sub-Saharan Africa.
Dude, they're like the squirrels of Africa.
They're like the squirrels of Africa, and it's amazing how puff adders are so dynamic in size and coloration and patterning to match their environment, but they're also one of the animals that I would say is a definitive part of a bigger food chain, because it's not just a snake that's eating small stuff and keeping things in balance, but puff adders get eaten by damn near everything, and that's why the old joke, that's why mom has 80 babies, is because puff adders are food for everything, the same way that puff adders eat everything. So like I love puff adders, man, but I would never ever freehold.
I'm going back and looking. So there's one at the Riverbank Zoo that is probably the prettiest puff I've ever seen. I'm going back and seeing if I could find the pictures of it.
Oh God, Scott messaged me too. What do I got? Scott says the phrase you were looking for is "try hard," venomous expert. Oh man, yeah. The Jake says, "Did we see the guy with the inland in his mouth?"
Didn't.
And I have that photo. I saved it because it is such an atrocity. Do we really want to show it or no?
Does their name rhyme with Shaman Dozer?
No, it's way worse. Shaman Dozer would not be this dumb.
That's Jerry might be out on that one.
No, this is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And from what I gather, and Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, this certain individual has been bitten by inland taipans in the past, before this photo was taken.
Looky. So that is like, this was.
Oh yeah. That's that one lake. What is it called?
It's from 10 years ago. So I was fairly heavy-handed with edits back in the day.
No, that's what it looks like. It's a lake. I'm pretty sure it's Ugandan. If someone wants to correct me, it's a particular lake locality that they're very lightly colored like that.
They have like the Pennywise thing with the eyes, where like they seem almost lazy, but they're still looking at you.
Oh yeah. There you go.
It's like the face you see when you're about to get.
So that guy apparently had been bit before.
Well, he looks like a winner.
Yeah.
Looks like Australia's Andy Milonakis.
Legit. Why is his collar buttoned all the way to the top button, first of all? I can't. I'm turning this off. I just can't. Oh, God. I actually had one of the puffs that one of my dream puff adders is actually Namibian, and now I gotta find it. Hold on. So there's a particular part where Namibia meets South Africa, and
hey,
good afternoon, gentlemen.
Guten Abend, meine Schatzi.
Speaking of guys that aren't dickheads, there's Andy Middleton.
I had to slide through for the end of the show special.
Love it.
My internet's. Well, I'm not even gonna say it. I was gonna say CenturyLink is not screwing me tonight, but
why would you say that? Why would you jinx yourself?
Yeah.
How's them Emeralds doing?
They're doing wonderful. They're doing great. I got a new one last week. I'm sure you saw, probably.
I did.
Yeah, man.
Once again, I'm very jealous.
Dude, I opened that thing out of the box and I stood there for probably 20 minutes and just
There's
stared
a
at it.
really nice female Aru on fauna right now.
Yeah, I am absolutely tapped out.
But this is I get so frustrated, man.
Did you see that sarong on North Market? I believe it was.
No, but I'll go look in a second. Like, I need to be producing stuff so I can sell stuff, so I can buy this stuff when I see it.
Are you talking about this 2014?
It's like the first ad on Fauna's Arboreal section right now.
Yeah, thing is smoking.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Mike, this is why I don't do green trees.
Oh, is it that one that Albright is selling for $2,000 freaking dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, bro.
Sweet yelling, yeah.
But is that a $2,000 snake?
You know, it's an 8-year-old female. I mean, it depends who you ask.
Because if you ask me, I say no.
You know, I wouldn't buy it, you know. But, you know, it's a nice snake for the right person, I guess.
And it's a very good looking snake, but it's just like, I don't understand what the deal is lately with people selling undocumented animals for like ridiculous prices.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people paying it, I think. So, yeah, there's a lot of people buying up snakes right now.
Like, I've seen some recently, it was like undocumented to undocumented, babies are $1,100 a piece.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Okay.
It's just, I hope it's not a whole like, oh, some sucker who's new to green trees will be like, this is awesome, I'm gonna get it. You know,
Breed this year. Yeah. Who knows? It's definitely tempting on for some of these that pop up, but I can.
It's just when you're paying like designer prices for unknown, like undocumented animals. I just can't. I'm not on board with it, man.
Yeah, you can get a captive bred chondro for half that.
That actually, like, from guys like me that don't charge an arm and a leg, but can tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did mention it last episode, but I'm planning to pair those Jansenii up next year. Like early next year, probably. And we let them get a little more size on them, let them get a little more settled in.
Dude, how great would that be?
Huh?
How great will that be? Captive bred Jansenii.
It's going to be tough. Like, I'm actually looking forward to it because, like, getting the eggs isn't the hard part, but for whatever reason, incubating them and, like, the humidity levels and stuff like that, they see, like, the eggs are fairly delicate. You know, they haven't been bred that much. Not that it can't be done because it has been done by multiple people, but I don't know. It's just I like the challenging stuff and I like the simple stuff. I like the risk of trying to, you know, the challenge of Jansenii, but I like the simplicity of orange snakes and bears where it's just, you know.
Yeah. So per Henry's recommendation, oh, there we go.
Oh, is that happening right now?
Looks like we might have some action right now.
Yeah.
Andy Middleton with the technology.
Dude, all the stuff that he's got right now, Andy's going to be knocking it out of the park as soon as a lot of that stuff grows out.
Absolutely.
I hope so. Tonight might be the night, guys.
What are we looking at?
There.
Them sexy green snakes on sticks, boy.
Boy. So Henry says I should pair up my purple maculatus this week. And I think I might just do that. I think I might throw a couple together and see what happens. I think they're still too young, but if it was in the wild, they're definitely big enough to breed. So
if all of these Cyania eggs hatch, I think they might be the easiest snakes to breed.
For you.
Because I literally, like, on a whim was like, yeah, I'll pair them, see what happens. Locked up instantly. Eggs, like, a month later, give or take. Right in the incubator. Now you just wait.
How long is the wait?
About 100 days.
Woo.
Yeah. I always found that interesting. Like, I always found that weird that small snakes like that, the incubation takes longer than, like, carpets, which are bigger. I would assume because they're bigger eggs and they're bigger babies, they would take longer to incubate and develop than tiny species. Because baby boy are tiny. Like, why does this take so long? What is it? It's you are keeping them cooler. Like, right now they incubate during the day at like 82, and then I have the thermostat set to 78, which I don't even think it drops down that much in the incubator at night because it's sealed up pretty good. So I'm sure the temperature has something to do with it. But like the Jansenii, it's like 100, 120 days. But those are ones like you literally like put them on a top shelf in your room, like upper 70s, like low 80s. Ignore them. So I don't know. I always found that odd that there's some species that take forever to hatch, and they're tiny in comparison to some of the larger species that hatch in 65 days. You know, whatever.
Yeah, you're almost incubating like monitor eggs at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I want answers, Phil. Give me answers.
To what?
Why?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why certain geckos produce 3 or 4 clutches a year and others only produce 1. I'm trying to figure out.
What's the gestation on perps?
Long. I think like 90 to 100 because it's live bearers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I've never done it like on purpose. I had females and males in the past that like I just thought she was fat, and apparently they had locked up and shat out a bunch of babies. My big female that produced like a 10 or 12 baby litter, she was probably 3 or 4 times the size of my biggest girl right now. So I can only imagine. She was wild caught, so I don't know how old that animal was, but I would say that she was probably the size of a yearling ball python, maybe a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, or maybe like a 2-year-old ball python. And my females now are probably, I'm guessing gram weight, maybe like 100 grams, 150 grams. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, even like emeralds, the gestation time on emeralds is ridiculous too.
Yeah, like 150 to 180 days for baby.
Yeah.
A little less for northerns.
Wait, Henry, did you say that perps are almost human gestation? They're 9 friggin' months? No way. Now I'm checking.
I know. Talking to Cody though about his those bilineata, he said those like the gestation's almost like 6 months. Which that's another one that I don't understand why, because the bilineata, that's a small species, like that's a small pit viper. Like, why on earth do they take that long? I just like the whole thing. I don't understand.
Okay.
We've got it pretty lucky with pythons, eh?
Yeah, maybe that's it. You know, when you breed species that are like, yeah, day 54, get ready.
Yeah.
You
know? Why can't I find any gestation?
Henry says like 8 months, give or take.
What? No way.
That seems excessive, Henry.
Do they eat the whole time?
Always. Do they eat no matter what? But mine are total jerks, and they will not eat from tongs. I have to leave live prey in there, and it's gone in the morning, which is no big deal. They're eating it, you know. It's not like they're just.
Scott said litters go through diapause during winter.
Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, all babies go through a lot of diapers, Scott.
Oh, yeah, I spelled purple immaculatus properly.
He said hoplocephalus are 200 plus days. That's crazy. I never knew Snuffleupagus had babies.
It's funny is when you type in, I typed in I literally just typed in Tremercer's purple maculatus gestation, and it pops up. It says approximately 35 days, and I was like, that is completely wrong. And then I'm looking at it, it's some kind of Siamese pit viper, which doesn't make any sense at all. I think. All right, what does this say here? Da-da-da-da.
Are you pairing anything else beside those condors, Andy? You got anything else in the docket?
I don't think so. No, I think we'll hold off till next year.
You want some Bears rats?
I think I can scope of things, dude. I'm planning out all the caging and whatnot because I need to redo my whole room because my collection's gone through a bit of a change in the last 2 years, to say the least. And so I need to set up like a whole wall of arboreal enclosures, get all the racks like organized and prepared for babies and all that stuff. So I got a lot to do. And
Andy needs colubrids. Get on the rat snake train with us, buddy.
Yeah, dude, Andy
There's plenty of room.
You really need to.
I have space in the cold room where the diamond pythons are. I think I might be able to sneak my Moluccans in there too. But
and you have the perfect room for old world Asian colubrids.
It's possible.
Yes. Mandarins, bamboos, Gonyosoma, like Montane Gonyosoma.
Yeah.
Dude, you freaking knock it out.
I don't know how much more I can do, dude. I think I have like, how many species do I have? Well, not that. I don't know. I just feel like I'm pretty good with what I got, man. I mean,
Scott, if that's the case, are cephalopods pronounced cephalopods?
It should be. Cephalopods.
Because it's hoplocephalus instead of hoplocephalus, like I said.
Yeah, C's or K's.
Sounds like a venereal disease when you say it like that. Well, I'm American and we like to butcher that kind of stuff, so it's gonna remain hoplocephalus.
All right, I am not going into my house to get the biblical text, so I will later on post in the Snakes and Stogies group how long the gestation period is for Tremercer's purple maculatus. Now, if Henry would like to consult his biblical text and chime in, feel free. But I'm not going inside because I have a cigar and I don't care. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Damn, look at that line, boy.
That thing smashed its food within 2 seconds. But I took that picture because I never noticed the laterals on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got like a 20 scale, like little weird circle there.
Super good looking.
Now, do you still, like, as far as the emeralds versus chondros thing, has your opinion as far as which one's easier or more difficult changed over now that you've kind of had them longer than you've been? Because I know we talked about it on the podcast multiple times.
I'd say that the emeralds are a lot lower maintenance.
It's so surprising because they're also so similar.
Yeah, you know, it's just with emeralds, everything's just so slow. So, you know, they, you know, fed once and then I wait for them to poop and then I feed them. So, you know, it's not like I'm feeding them weekly or, you know,
right.
Typically every 2, 3, 4 weeks. You know, and then they poop once and then, you know, they get fed again. So, you know, I'm not doing too much other than changing water, but, you know, with chondros, well, I guess I'm just dealing with a lot of neos, so they're pooping all the time, and cleaning a lot of tubs, and I don't know.
it is amazing how much neonate chondros go.
Yeah, and then they're eating every 6 days. Like,
Yeah.
Like
when that first clutch, I was amazed. I was like, "Good God, are you guys like corn snakes?" It was like constant. And then they get to an age where they almost never go. I don't know, but a lot of my younger chondros, like my subadults, my juveniles, I'm cutting them back on food because I've got a few that are just getting really chunky. So.
Yeah, I keep all my snakes for the most part as well. But I realized I gotta start feeding stuff a little bit more, just to get them in shape for breeding next year. So yeah, next 2 to 3 years, all the stuff I'm raising should be good to go. So it should be good. Still need more female chondros though. I only have sex ones right now.
Yeah, that whole rack of 6 I have, they're all still unsexed, even though I have a very strong feeling a majority of them are actually female. Which works out because most of my older animals are males. So.
Yeah, I guess in like 6 months or so, I can actually probe a lot of the neos I've gotten. So yeah, I guess I'll have a better idea where I'm at on that front.
I could probe all of them in that rack currently, but I'm trying to get more comfortable and better at probing, and I'm not willing to try to learn on those. I'd rather learn on the corns or something, and get better at it. Which even then, I sexed all the corns again for the first time to fully confirm exactly what ratio I had in my group because I have 4 of them. And I originally thought I had 1.3, but then I looked, I had 3.1. But then one of the males shed, and it had the spots like you see with females when they shed. And so I'm like, what the hell? So I may just end up saving sheds and send them off to Moral or something, have them do the testing thing.
Dude, it's awesome. I got hit up like 2 weeks ago. That I can I got a snake and the guy's getting the rest of the clutch, all his holdbacks, DNA sexed with shed. What's his company name called again?
Rare Genetics.
Yeah, Rare Genetics. And yes, you just hit me up and just let me know that I can mail my shed to him and get my chondro sexed like a year early for $50.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Yeah, because they can do chondros, but they have to have, I want to say, like a shed from the sire and then one of the grandparents, I think, to be able to confirm.
Yeah, one of the parents or a proven male that the sire has produced.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
They have like an extra chromosome or something, actually. It's not just X and Y. There's like an additional one, if I'm not mistaken. Or, I don't know. He had talked about it on THP when we had him on forever ago. Mm-hmm. And he kind of explained that, there's some snakes where it's not just X and Y. Like there's like a Z or something, I think, as well. I could be completely wrong and probably am. And I'm sure Scott can probably chime in on that too. But so like with colubrids, they don't have that problem. Like they can tell through testing of just a single shed without any sheds from relatives. But for some reason, chondros, because of the way they're genetically, like maybe it's not they have third, that instead of being X and Y, it's like Y and Z, maybe. Because he said there was something similar with, I think, crotalids, like rattlesnakes. Like they have, it's just not the traditional X and Y. There's something else going on. Mistaken. So that just throws like a little sort of monkey wrench into the testing, because I guess the test is only made to be able to tell directly from what they work with colubrids. But I don't know.
Interesting. That reminds me, Henry, did we ever get the gender back from Mango? Because I'm pretty sure Henry sent out Mango's skin to get DNA tested. So.
Phil, you have any interest in getting kings?
No. Nope, not my thing. Too big. I'm too short. Can't do it. And to be honest, the whole snake eating thing is it's not for me, man. It's not, and Henry's dedication to Ophiophagus animals is a legit dedication, and I can't do it. Like, he wants to get into more Calliophyus, and he wants to get into more Micrurus, and I commend him because they're awesome animals that no one's really doing good stuff with. So I know Henry's going to do a hell of a job with it, but Henry also has that passion and that drive to get the feeder snakes and to do feeder snakes, and that's just not my thing. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, I thought Henry's episode was awesome. Yeah, I got a good kick out of it.
I'm glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, and that is one of those, going back to Boiga, is tail sexing them is pretty easy because they're so thin. Like when those males have hemipenes, you can feel them. Like it's obvious. It's so much swelling after that vent that isn't there with females. And I think actually with neonates, you can sex them. If you have a really bright flashlight, you can actually shine that through and see hemipenes.
Really?
Yeah.
And Scott, I've never been able to honestly visually sex or probe Ophiophagus. I've seen males that was like, man, he's really well endowed. That's got to be a male, and it turned out that it was. Every time that I've ever tried to probe a juvenile, and by juvenile I mean like 5 foot or longer, the tail is so long and the hemipenal sheath is so long that no matter what, even if it's a female, you almost lose the probe. So it's not worth it,
My probe disappeared.
I mean, you don't really get to that point, but yeah. And yes, as a Mesops, I would totally love to have as a Mesops, but no one has them. No one gets them in the U.S., and I don't understand why. And now with this whole, what I like to call the millennial Montaigne generation, where people are starting to really take a liking to these colder weather animals, Fees vipers are definitively cold weather. And I mean, there was that
so cool.
There's that one that stowed away on that Hong Kong flight, and like, dude, it lived in that plane at 30,000 feet. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. So I definitely would like to have them one day. I had a friend who had one, and he fed it mice, and it did really well. And then the room that it was in crashed, and the whole room overheated, and all the animals died. But had that not happened, he would have been tip top.
And Scott's just here to ruin my dreams.
Okay.
Because those are also so small and frail, you can't pop. Like, I'm not going to pop a baby Boiga.
I don't like
snap the spine.
I don't like popping. I can't do it. I feel like I'm going to break something. And then like people that do the speed bump test with boas, where you run your finger across it and you feel the hemipenal bump. Dude, it freaks me out. I feel like I'm going to rip the skin off. I can't do it.
I don't know. I'm going to try the transillumination anyways.
Do it. Take photos.
See. I got to see for myself. But yeah, dude, Vesio has a lot of cool stuff, man. So he does he's like the Matt Most of Venomous guys. Like, he's got the stuff nobody is doing anything with. Or has. What are you searching for, Philium?
Northern Fees vipers.
See, those things are so interesting because they have the 9-plate head arrangement that you see on the Lapids. But Scott says he seems like a nice guy too, but does not suffer fools. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he has a ton of morons that are like, hey man, let me get one of those spider-tailed vipers.
Look at that, man. It's awesome. Whoops. Look at this one. Gorgeous. Keep that sucker at 65 in the dark. Love life.
Can you imagine being the guy that stumbled across those for the first time? He's like, what the hell's this thing?
Dude, it looks like it can kill you. Like, you know how some snakes are just, not ominous? This thing looks like it will end you.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've heard they're, like, toxicity-wise, they're not really that high up on the list of, like, kill you quickly.
Dude, look at the friggin' head. Look at that thing. Those little eyes.
Is it an elapid or is it a viper?
It reminds me of like an anaconda.
Right?
Just that one particular individual, though.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, look at that Matilda right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me all the Atheris.
Yeah.
Phil, if I get beaded lizards, how should I keep them? Any tips?
What kind of beadeds?
Exasperate them.
Nice. I would do.
Them Horio Fuerte.
If it was me, honestly, and I had exaspums, I would do they're adults, right? They're reeds.
I don't know.
If
I
they
need
were
to talk to Rhea about it more.
If they were adults, I would have them individually housed in 4 foot, ideally 6 foot, but 4 foot visions, but not the thin ones, the tall ones. I think it's 4 by 2 by almost 2 high. I think it is. They have the metal bar in the middle for the glass. I would do them in those, and I would do a mixture of ABG and some mulch, and I would have a thin water dish that is big enough for it to sit in, but not big enough that it could actually submerge itself. And then I would do a bunch of cork rounds that it could like climb through and go through, and I would put a bunch of pothos in there and call it a day.
Can I hold it up to my face and take pictures for the internet?
If it's friendly, sure.
What if it's
I've
not?
done it. Actually, I think I have pictures of it. I'm not bashful. I'll show my Heliderm free handling.
Jesus, after that whole hour-long conversation we had
I know
about these assholes.
That's why
you turn out to be. I mean, the Gurkha hat should have given it away from the start.
Oh,
Jesus
burn.
Christ.
Burn.
I knew you had shitty tasting cigars, Phil.
Actually, this picture is not as bad as I thought it was.
I smoked that Nova the other day. Boy, that shit was good.
I knew it would be. The Novas is good.
They're solid. It's a very solid brand.
So this picture is actually very deceiving. Oh my God, this is 2009. Oh God.
Boy, that's when I graduated.
That's when you graduated from high school?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm old.
You were like 06, 07, right?
No.
05?
Nope.
04?
Yep.
I mean, I was a freshman. No, I wasn't. I was in like the 8th grade. You are old. Look at that little guy. He's like, what are you doing to me?
That animal was legit a puppy dog. And we had so much fun with him, man. We would just like let him walk around. He had no signs of aggression. It was pretty much like a tegu. You basically treated him like a tegu. And every once in a while he would like test bite like the couch or something. And it was like, okay, now it's time to put him back. Now he's getting curious. But that picture is deceiving because he's really close to the camera and I'm not. Like it's a forced perspective, you know? So I was definitively not putting my tongue near the animal.
It's like that. Did you see that video of that chick getting bit on the tongue by that tegu?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was not.
I don't know how many times I watched that. I got a really good laugh out of it. I was like, "You jackass!"
Scott
She's
says,
all like, and that thing just.
"Oh God, it was horrible."
You know that hurt. You know that thing. That sucker bled like a freaking stuck pig.
Oh, dude, I'm surprised she has a tongue still. You know that probably just ripped that tip right off. Scott says, "Here's the tip."
I don't know. I mean, I'm still like, so basically, I'm planning to get out of dart frogs for spatial reasons.
Okay.
I have some in my, you saw them, they take up literally a half a wall.
Yeah.
And that's a wall that that's space I could use for a bigger rack for these chondros that are going to need upgrades within the next year or so.
Oh, yeah.
And I need another baby rack because if I'm going to be producing as many rat snakes as I am under the impression I will be, I'm going to need more space for that. And then the Jansenii and the Boiga are going to need more space eventually too. So I had to make the hard decision. And of course, our buddy Ryan Reed up in Charleston, right up the coast from me.
The one and only.
He's a big dart frog guy, and we had been talking back and forth about me trading, maybe some Brettles or something for a pair of these beadeds. But I was always kind of on the fence about it because, they need a decent amount of heat on the hot end and space. And so I may end up trading him pretty much just all the dart frog tanks and stuff just for a pair of beadeds, just because he's my guy. And I know if I ever did want to get back into darts, I know he would help me out. But I've never kept beadeds. I've never kept any heliderms. So I'm pretty green to it. I know not to get bit by them.
Yeah.
I know the Rio Fuertes are the smaller of the two, right?
Yeah.
Because no one even keeps the Guatemalans. Those are like non-existent.
And they're gigantic.
The Guatemalans?
Yeah, the Guatemalans, I'm pretty sure, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure the Guatemalans get the biggest, and they're also the most arboreal.
Well, no. So
there's
I
actually,
don't know. I mean, Reed's got beadeds, and I've been talking to him and picking his brain about him a lot over the last probably year or so. Like, we've kind of casually been like, yeah, man, I want some beadeds. He's like, well, we'll make it happen. And then it never happens. And I messaged him the other day and said, hey, I'm getting rid of all my darts. If you're interested in them, sell them to you on the cheap or something. He's like, well, get some beadeds. I was like, okay.
It's a fair trade, man. It's a fair trade.
I like the Rio Fuertes, though, because those are pretty.
Yeah. If I was going to get them, that's what I would get. I'm not a beaded guy, man. I'm more of a Gila guy, hands down. I just love the black and orange. And I really want those, like, Utah Cinctus, those real Utah pinks, But
salmons.
The salmons, yeah, totally. But, dude, beadeds are awesome. They really are. And there's so much more. I mean, let's be real. Gilas are durable with tanks. But I feel like the beadeds are more forgiving in a room like yours because you have all that ambient humidity already. And you're
well, that actually may get cut out because I'm going to get rid of that tadpole tub.
Oh, yeah.
That has that bubbler. That does throw a lot of that. That keeps that ambient room humidity up a pretty good bit. So
that is true. Interesting. Yeah, I say you do it, man. Change of pace. Fuck it.
I mean, haven't exactly told the boss about it yet. So
yeah, but what? You trade all those frogs for 3 lizards? You're good.
Well, it's the fact that they're venomous and could cause bodily harm that I know is not going to fly. So
look, there's only been like 4 fatalities from a heliderm ever, and it's pretty much unanimous that they were actually Western Diamondback bites, and they lied.
I was going to say, I don't think no one's died from the heliderm bite, right?
Right. Actually, I remember somebody sent me a newspaper clipping from a town in Arizona in circa like 1890 where a guy got bit by a Gila and he cut its head off and the head was still attached to his hand. And he went into town with it like on his hand. and he died. But they said that he died of infection because they wound up cutting away the skin and tissue of his hand, and he went septic.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. I know it's one of those things where it's not going to kill you, but it's going to hurt a lot. And you're probably going to wish you were dead.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend that got bit by a yearling Gila monster, and doggies. I felt bad for him, man. That was the worst, 48 hours of his life.
Yeah, not something I really want to experiment with.
Well, I mean, dude, I wrote the article on how to tame down your Gila.
You did.
You have the manual now. Go get yourself some gardening gloves and a paintbrush, and you'll be set.
I'm trying to see if Reed has any pictures of them.
Brad, how many Gilas do you actually have, bro? And how many of them are focus?
Does he have any Rio Fuertes? Give me all your tips.
I'm pretty sure you've only got Gilas, right? Or do you have
any tips?
Any tips?
Reed's the man, dude.
Dude, Reed's the man. I'm so happy.
There's a lot of people I'm really happy that I can call friends. And he's very high on that list, man. He's just such a cool guy.
Such a cool guy.
Did I tell you, the first time I met him, he just randomly popped into work because he listened to the podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, he was in his uniform and everything. Just came into work into the Shell Point shop, the shop that we had the little shindig at, and it's like, "Yeah, man, I listened to the podcast, and I was in the area. I figured I'd stop in and see you." It's like, "That's freaking on." We talked for probably half an hour.
It's great. You know who also is a really, really great guy? Andy
Middleton. Oh,
Red.
Thanks, guys. You guys are too kind.
So, Brad, you got 3 Cinctus, or you just have 3 Gilas?
He's got 3 sphincters.
Sphinctus? Refilling my beverage now. Thanks, Andy.
I also will say that Ryan Reed's son is probably the most adorable freaking kid I've ever seen. Mostly because he looks just like Reed. If he was like a midget.
Justin, how's the scrub doing?
He's good, man. He's I don't know what Phil was doing that made him tell me that he was so calm and awesome, because he's not. I think Phil had him sedated or something. He's giving him horse tranquilizers or something.
Maybe his heat wasn't on or something.
Because anytime he's still in the closet, which is the quarantine room, and anytime I walk by that tub, you hear a thunk. Walk back by it, thunk.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man!
I
need to feed him.
What do you think of them apart from that? You like scrubs? Like keep them or?
I don't really have an opinion yet. They're very cool. They're definitely working with them. They're very interesting compared to some of the other stuff I've kept, but I don't know yet. I feel bad because there's guys I just saw Buddy Buscemi. I think got some recently, within the last 2 weeks or so, and he was posting pictures of them, and I'm I feel like kind of an asshole because I've got one that could totally be bred, and it's just kind of sitting there.
I think he's had him for a while, actually.
Has he?
I think
I don't
so.
know. He just posted pictures of them recently. I was like, man, those are cool. Trade me a chondro for it. He'd probably laugh in my face. He'd be like, "Dude, get the fuck out of here."
You have a male, eh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what Phil told me he was. It has not been confirmed.
It's not been confirmed.
Given his age and his size, I would say he's a male. So, but he's an ass. So, thank you, Phil.
I don't know what you did to him, bro.
He's so cool, man. I can take him out and let him crawl around on my head.
Yeah, I don't know what you did to him, bro.
Mine are getting big.
Need to make babies.
Yeah, I fucking sure do, man.
Did Andy get a tandem bar?
No,
No, he's got the freak.
Uh-oh. We lost Smitty. We were going good, man. We were going so good, and we lost Smitty.
It's a heartbreak. Dominique, what's going on?
What's that?
Dominique's back.
Oh, cool. Good shit. The how are my Moluccans?
They're doing really good. Just kind of feeding them up a little bit. I'm gonna pull back in food probably in December, so till maybe early March or February. But I've been feeding them, getting them prepared for that. They're doing really good. The male seems to be on a little bit of a growth spurt, so he's getting pretty big. I need to sex them. He's shed plugs for me, so I know what he is, but I really need to get around to sexing what I believe and sold to me as a female, just to confirm I have a pair, because I know a couple people who have just went around and sexed their pairs, and they have 2 males. So it seems like there's a lot of males around right now, and I hope it wasn't the case with me, but I don't think so. But yeah, she's doing really well. The female, she's starting to go through her change still. She's still pretty brown, but she's getting her golden, every
Nice.
so. But they're doing good.
How old are they?
The female is probably they were imported, so this is just my rough guess. Female is probably 1.5 years, coming up on 2 years. Actually, no, she's probably 2.5. I got them about almost 2 years ago. 1.5 years ago.
When they were still baby colors, or no?
The female, she was completely brown with like a reddish tinge to her. Yeah,
Okay.
but then shed out. The first time she was all brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, it took my male almost 4 years to be completely yellow. Like it was a very, very long dynamic change. We're probably around the 2.5, 3 year mark.
How big was your 4-year-old?
Oh God, probably 4.5 foot, maybe 5 foot. Yeah, I really didn't feed. I probably stunted her growth, or its growth, I should say. I didn't sex any of them, because I fed like a rat pup like once a month, maybe 2,
Mm.
But I also think that also helped with the aggression, because I never had a mean one, ever. So.
Never ever.
Never did I ever have a mean one.
The bigger my male gets, it seems the more I don't know, confident he is. He comes out and investigates when the door opens. He's coming quicker to really come out and say hi.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder if it'll be a continuing theme as they get bigger. They get a little bit more of an attitude, a little more defensive. But, we shall see. The female has been pretty good and the male's been great. But now once I start to open up their cages, getting a little bit of a hello.
How much of a pain in the ass are they taking out?
The male's a little bit of a pain just because of the furnishings and whatnot I have in there. I got like manzanita and hides and all sorts of stuff. So, and branches and all. So navigate. I usually just pull that stuff out when he's in his hide, and then I take everything out, and then I pull him out, put him in a can, and then put everything back. Once I clean, and then put him in. So it can be a little bit of a process on that front, but the female is good. Her cage she's got branches and what have you, but it's a little bit of an easier design and it's flat, so I can just scoop her out most of the time.
How are them diamonds, boy? You posted one of those on your Instagram story the other day.
Yeah, that was the female I put up. They're doing good. They're about to both get cut off on food, and their ambient temps in there are starting to get down. They're down to like 65 already.
When do you bring them back up and start feeding them again?
Typically around February.
Oh, okay, so it's like a Thanksgiving to March, sort of like Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day, sort of typical.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, I might feed them, I usually feed into November just because they're still pretty small. I mean, maybe the adults I'll probably prolong it a bit longer, but they're still a year and a half, 2 years. So, but yeah, for the most part, I treat them like how I'll treat them as adults.
I really want to cool mine, like my colubrids and stuff, down and put them in the garage, but I don't know. I kind of don't like that idea.
There you go. That was a male at like 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, I mean
that dorsal markings almost a stripe.
Yeah.
It's a stonewash, boy.
Yeah, that animal was tip top.
Yeah, I'd say my male's probably around that size, maybe a little bigger.
Cool.
And he's probably 3 or 4.
I actually came across
Boyga.
this picture.
I can't keep Boyga.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty certain, yeah.
Dude, look at this monster. I'm really regretting not buying these babies at Daytona because I really want to get back into it. And then when Riley and Owen did their colubrid corner, I was like, damn man, I really want to get back into them.
Oh, did they do a new episode of those?
No, that was I'm sorry, they were joking about doing or no, did they do a Mullendorf? I can't remember now.
Let me see.
Are those 100-flower rats? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those.
Yeah, man, that thing was 5 foot.
Oh, they did. I haven't listened to that episode yet.
Yeah.
Damn. Like, that's when you follow stuff on Spotify, they don't like notify you when a new episode is available.
Mm-hmm.
How much are your bags of cypress in Florida?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't bought it in a while. I don't know.
Ours are like $4.
Is it like $5-6 maybe?
Yeah.
Ours are like for like $22.
Jesus.
What? Why?
I'm pretty sure cypress is like processed and bagged in Florida.
Yeah, but it shouldn't make a difference.
Well, it gets trucked up to Connecticut.
Yes.
I don't know. That's just what it is around here.
You're talking about Home Depot yellow label cypress mulch.
Yeah, if they even have it. Yeah.
Wow, dude. That's got to be a Florida thing then, because it's like $5.50, $6 a bag.
Yeah, or even just like a down south kind of thing. Yeah.
It might be, yeah. It very well might be. But yeah, man, I really am not buying those Mullendorf babies at Daytona. I think I might do that. I'm gonna do that next year. And then talking to Matt about there he goes, Smitty again. Talking to Matt about Arizona black rattlesnakes, and he was showing me some locality specific stuff. And my friend Marcus and I were talking about getting some of those sidewinders he produced. And I was like, hey man, if you know anybody who breeds Arizona blacks, I wouldn't mind getting a pair of them too. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't do them, but I got a couple buddies. I'm like, nice. So
awesome.
Hopefully I can get that in the near future because I definitively want just a jet black rattlesnake with gold stripes. It just looks ominous. I want that.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful snakes. Do you keep any rattlesnakes down?
I do. I've got I've got 2 male canebrakes. I've got a black diamond. I've got a Lepus clobberi that's Franklin Mountain locality. And that's it for right now. I had Easterns and they died. That did not go well. And I need to get a cane. One of the canebrakes is actually a friend of ours. I'm basically babysitting it. And then eventually when he gets, I think he's trying to move because I guess where he's at now is not rattlesnake friendly.
Mm.
And when he moves, he's going to probably take that back with him. So I do want to get a female canebrake, but the one I have is North Florida locality. So I really want to kind of catch my own, but
Yeah.
it's very hard for me because it's a 6-7 hour drive from me to where they're found. And I have to go at the right time of the year. I'd have to find an actual female, you know? So
Yeah.
part of me just says I'll just buy like a nice South Carolina pink or something and try and breed that. But I don't know. I have the rattlesnakes because I think they're cool, but like I don't really like want to do projects with them per se. I just kind of like them.
Mm.
But those Arizona blacks, I definitely want to. I definitely can see myself producing that stuff.
Yeah.
Justin, do you know?
Huh?
Okay, you're back. Cool. No, I was just telling.
It's witching hour for CenturyLink.
Oh yeah, I was just telling Andy that I was talking to Matt about getting some of them baby Cerastes that he has. And
I wondered if you were going to end up get some.
Yeah. So basically, he's gonna wait a couple weeks and get some more meals in them, and then he's gonna try and get me a pair. Try and get Marcus a pair. And then I asked him, I was like, "Hey man," because he's been sending me pictures of this one particular subspecies of Cerberus that comes, or Keberus, however you want to say it, that comes from, I guess it's like southwestern Colorado, like in the pine tree forests, and they're not black. They almost look like a striped prairie rattler. Super cool looking. But I asked him, I was like, dude, I really want a pair of blacks, like fucking black, you know? And he's like, I don't keep them, but I have some friends that do, so I'll talk to them. So if he can try and get me a pair of them, that would be awesome. Just jet black rattlesnakes with gold stitching. Ooh, love it.
Yeah. Like those North Georgia timbers, boy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly like those North Georgia timbers.
All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I got to hop off here.
All right, man.
Yeah, is it witching hour for you too, Justin?
I mean, I got a little bit of this Roma craft left, so
Right,
unless you got somewhere to be.
No, I was going to say, Andy, if you have to depart, we love you, and we are glad you joined us for episode 49. And here is some Arizona black rattlesnakes to end your night with. If I can get this to screen share. Oh,
shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that animal. Dude. Just something about a jet black pit viper, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to go watch that video probably. NFK Herpin. Good videos. All right, gentlemen. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, man.
Always pleasure speaking with you guys.
Anytime.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah, have a good rest of your night, guys.
Later. Class act.
Class act. Yeah, he's an awesome fella. And his pythons are phenomenal. So
how often do you feed your Gilas?
I was doing it like once a month, sometimes twice a month, but now I'm feeding the crap out of her so that oh my God, it's almost November. Oh, I got to feed her some more. And beginning of first week in November will be her last feeding. And then I will attempt to cool the last week of the end of the first week of December, which means I also have to tell Michael, my friend who has the male, to do the same thing. His male is way fatter and bigger than my female because he just feeds it like normal. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna cool them. I got to figure this shit out. So I'm very lackadaisical about it. But I gave her a whole rat crawler before I went on this trip. And then the day I got back, I gave her 2 rat pinks, and then I gave her another 2 rat pinks last night. So,
you know what? Their eyes remind me of like a whale.
Oh yeah, totally, total whale eyes, like soft and gentle, and just also looking off into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But dude, how cool would it be if I produce Gilas? I would be so excited.
Right.
And Brad, I'm literally gonna if I get eggs, I'm literally gonna text you like every other day.
Just like the incubation time on those is pretty long too, isn't it?
Yeah, real long. Dominic says, "Did y'all talk Sicilians yet?" No, we did not. We did not talk about Sicilians.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're cool. But to me, if I'm going to get a Sicilian, I'm just going to get an Infuma. And then I can feed it stuff and watch it be like Jaws. You know what I mean?
They're the most phallic of all herps.
They are the most phallic of all amphibians. So, Dominique, if you really want to spread some knowledge about Sicilians, you can write an article on Sicilians for Herpetoculture Magazine.
Hey,
there it is.
Ugh, I don't know.
What? Are you looking at lizards?
No, I'm looking at heliderms.
Oh, yeah? You looking at setups?
Not really, just pictures.
Dude, I can't believe you got all poopy with me about the crushed walnut.
Oh, I was just giving you a hard time. I didn't mean it. I didn't care.
Well, no, because now you made me all paranoid that I'm keeping some of my animals on broken shards of glass. Oh, God. Like, I feel bad because, like, I watch my Gilas on crushed walnut, and she, like, all, like, nuzzles in it and gets comfy. Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
There he is. But he's muted.
He's muted.
We can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, and he's gone. Damn it.
Like a stranger in the night.
It's a quick
stranger in the night. From the future.
Legit from the future. Isn't that crazy? Oh.
Still muted.
Still can't hear you. You got to push the little mute button.
I got it.
Hey.
It's gone from a PG broadcast to something not PG anymore.
I mean, it wasn't ever really PG to begin with.
Yeah, especially if I'm talking smart, it won't be. So, how are we, fellas?
We're good, man. What's it, man? Future.
Cold. It's like 27 degrees. So, but the snakes will be moving tonight because we've got thunderstorms moving through. So, we're throwing some of the live bearers together, and hopefully, we should have some
awesome, man.
A bit of rooting going on with some of the death adders and a few of the other bits and pieces.
Awesome. Do they do the whole wiggling thing?
Do they caught a lure?
Like no. They have almost like a enticement for the male to court the female.
Oh yeah, the females, if they're ready to, they'll lift their tails up. But Shidekis do that. It's fairly common. That's the Australasian leopards. So
Get us some of them night tigers.
yeah, no,
Get us some of them night tigers.
they're together right now. Cheeky bastards, the things that they are. So, like typical fucking boygo, they're just typically annoying, frustrating things. So, but they hold a
They're
place.
adorable. They're adorable.
Oh, they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And if you guys could keep them, Irregularis, the night tiger, the Fusca morph, are absolutely stunning. They're among some of the prettiest snakes out there. And like to see them on the road at night when you're in their habitat it's like nothing else on the road, that's for sure.
It's like the freaking traffic cone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
see it. Oh my god.
you see them for like 400 meters away.
Really?
Oh yeah, and straight away you know what it is too. And they fucking put on such a show too. They're such a cantankerous little thing.
Cantankerous.
4 feet
See, that's
long, but
funny
they think
'cause-
they're 40 feet.
Yeah, like my Cyanea though, they don't do any of that. Like I have to really
open
mind
fucking mouth, take you across the road. They're fucking nasty. It's funny as fuck.
none of mine.
Does
And
anyone
mind you, we
nighttime-
laugh at people getting bitten by shit. So
Does
we
anyone
laugh at
consider
people.
actually
Sorry.
read the Australian
No.
Yeah, there's a few of us. There's a few of us that breed them, but I don't know if anyone breeds them overseas. You got to incubate the eggs cold. That's one thing that people fuck up. They usually get eggs, but they try and incubate them at 30 degrees and they kill all the eggs. 24 to 27 is what we incubate a lot of our stuff at. But even like our brown snake eggs, our taipan eggs, Shidekis eggs, we incubate at usually 28 degrees Celsius. So we incubate cooler than everybody else. It means that our incubation intervals a bit longer, but the animals, the babies come out, they're stronger, they seem to hold more weight. They don't want to eat straight away the minute you feed it. The minute they hatch out the egg, they're not looking for food. But it doesn't matter if they don't eat for 3 weeks because they've got the condition on them. They haven't burnt through all that yolk during the bloody egg. So, you know, these are reptiles. They're not fucking battery hens like a lot of people try to keep their animals.
Yeah.
But I'm controversial with shit like that. I call people out on bullshit. So, you know,
That's why we love you.
I think racks, awesome for certain animals. Cages, awesome for certain animals. This cookie cutter approach where everything has to go into a rack or everything has to go in this, my way is the best way, you're a fucking moron. You keep
What a
the animal
concept.
to the way the animal needs to be kept and modify it in such a way it should be.
Preach.
You know? But, you know, look, just because somebody can keep an animal and keep it alive doesn't mean they're keeping it well. Just because somebody can breed an animal doesn't mean they're keeping it well. It doesn't mean the animal's thriving because it wants to fucking do what it's innately programmed to do. That does not equal success. Equaling success is somebody that can repeatedly breed species, has an animal that doesn't have fucking ailments every 6 months because they're not keeping it right. But hey, we'll call it fucking respiratory syndrome because the snake just gets respiratory every year. Well, maybe you should change how you fucking keep it and it won't get respiratory anymore because its immune system isn't compromised.
Here.
So, see, and this is what happened. I get on a fucking rant and, yeah. Fuck.
It's a famous thing. I can keep an elephant in my living room, but it's still an elephant.
100%.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's like that fucktard that was arguing with me yesterday on that fucking on Thomas's fucking forum, Facebook page. I'm old, so I call them forums. You know, so they deal with it.
We got you.
And like the dude goes, yeah, don't keep collet snakes as first snakes. Well, fuck me dead. If you want to keep a venomous snake over here, the first venomous snake you tend to keep over here, besides someone else's, which is ideal, is a fucking collet snake. The guy didn't say. He wanted to know what's the good first venomous. I say collar snake. The dude goes, no, they're a bad collar snake. Posts himself a video of him fucking harassing the fuck out of this snake. The poor thing's so foody, it's striking at him. Well, of course it's going to strike at him. Guess what? If you fucking wave your hand in front of me like a fucktard, I'm going to strike at you too. So anyway, so then he tells me all about his experience. And look, don't get me wrong. You can learn something from somebody who's been keeping reptiles 6 fucking minutes, let alone 6 years, let alone fucking 60 years. It's fucking completely irrelevant. But if you're a douche, you're a fucking douche either way. And he turns around and goes, I keep 4 specimens of collar snakes. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, right, okay, cool.
Where was he located?
Oh, in the States. Anyway, so that's all good. That's fine. You know, he's a fucking internet expert. And he turns around and goes, I'm 23 years old. I know what's doing. I was, dude, I bred the fuckers in 1993, 94, and 95. That was before you were fucking born. I said, I've been keeping them a little while. I think I've got a bit of an understanding on how to fucking keep them and how dangerous they are. He goes, oh, well, you shouldn't recommend them. It's irresponsible. I'm like, yep, all right, cool, whatever. Fucking idiots. So, you know, and then, you know, I saw the shit on your fucking post. Who gives a fuck? You put your hand in with the boiger. You made a fucking mistake. Who gives a shit? It's not the end of the world. You're still alive. You post it up so people don't make the same silly fucking mistake, which we all have made, mind you. Right? We all make. Right? I cut fucking corners every day. Right? And I could tell you that I don't, but it'd be lying. And you know what? Fuck it. I just own the shit. You know, it's the same reason why at the end of a fucking hurt meeting, I put that photo up of me going into anaphylactic shock because I was handling that snake like a fucking moron. All right? It's a venomous snake. What was I doing? I was using my fucking hands to cover it so I could curl it up to get a fucking photo. Right? The thing chews on my fucking hand. What do? Oh, well, such is life. Big deal. It's a fucking snake. It bit me. It's not meant to be that bad. 20 minutes later, I'm going into anaphylactic shock from a species I'd never actually dealt with before. I am shitting myself. I am scared shitless. We're 100 Ks from fucking anywhere. There's no mobile service. There's no, oh shit, I think I need fucking antihistamines. I don't have any antihistamines. I don't have any adrenaline, right? You know how I got out of that? Dumb fucking luck. That's how I got out of that. It's as simple as that. Dumb fucking luck. I didn't know I was allergic. I'd never been fucking bitten by a hemiaspis before. I'd never even seen one of the motherfuckers. And yet I go into anaphylactic shock. Obviously, there's a protein or an enzyme within snake venom that through my years of making mistakes previously when I have been bitten by other shit, obviously there's something in there that fucked me up. And then I went into anaphylactic shock. Now, after that, I learned from that mistake. Now, that mistake happened in 2005. Pretty much every course that I teach, I put those photos up. And feel free, Phil, when you're doing your courses at Underground, put those photos up. Go, this dude almost fucking died from an anaphylactic reaction to a snake that isn't meant to do shit. So when you're fucking around with hognoses, you know, fucking around with false water cobras and you're fucking around with boiger, you take those things and you treat them with respect. It's not fucking hard. And the reality of it is monitors are venomous too. I don't give a shit. I'll argue with any motherfucker about that, right? It's all well and good that you want to go side, oh, bacteria. Fuck off, it's bacteria. It's been proven to be venom. So just get over it, understand that it's venom, move on. Just because something is venomous does not equal it being dangerous. However, if you have a predisposition to allergies, like this little black duck, then I've got to be cautious. So you know what? I don't put my fucking hand in Monitor's mouth when I can avoid it. I don't get bitten by fucking snakes. I don't get bitten by snakes full stop if I can avoid it now. I don't care if it's almost fucking harmless. I treat it with respect. You know, at the end of the day, that was the best wake-up call for me and the scariest wake-up call for me all at the same time. And if my mistake can teach others, then, hey, it's a mistake that's got some value.
But, Scott, it's not real venom.
Yeah, no, it's not real venom. Yeah.
Has anyone actually had another reaction besides yours to that species or not?
No. Usually your hand swells up like a balloon. I'll send you photos of the other thing. Like, I freaked the fuck out of people. Like, I was catching snakes that afternoon, and I was having trouble. I was trying to grab a 6-foot Textilis and I was having to do it reverse-handed because I couldn't close my right hand. It was that swollen from the venom, and this was venom now, it wasn't the anaphylaxis. The hand was that swollen from the venom that I couldn't actually close it. So as I'm trying to catch this fucking brown snake and grab by the tail, I couldn't do it. So I had to grab it backhanded. You know, the stupid shit we do when we're 20 years old, 25 years old.
Yeah. We've been there.
So,
Well, for me, it's like if you want to post pictures of you handling, you know, Boigers, why don't you just get a carpet?
it's all a big pissing match, mate. You know, look, I can't say that I haven't done stupid shit. I've free-handled all sorts of crazy shit over the years, and I've done some dumb shit. There's no doubt about it. But don't try and... What really shits me is when people pretend that they've never done anything fucking stupid in their life. You know, people take risk all the day. We get every day. You cross a road, you've got a calculated risk. You know, but it's all about sort of risk mitigation. As you get older, and especially if you're trying to put yourself in a position where you are going to be sort of teaching other people, you need to be better than that. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's why I was so surprised with the comments, you know, that Phil was talking about with that Boiga post. Like, someone in that person's position who has been in things as long as they have, I would expect more from them.
Are you talking about TC?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ego is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Very much so.
And you know what? It doesn't matter if it gets back to him because fucking I wouldn't say not like I wouldn't say it to his face anyway. So, but look, I met him. I met him when he was over here. He's a nice enough guy, I suppose. You know, he's been around a long time. He knows a lot of shit. Fucking hell, he's fucking also got some crazy. So he's got some interesting opinions as well. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's very much fucking do as I do and not as I say.
Oh yeah, and I've told people countless times that he saved my ass with knowledge about not physically, but keeping an animal alive, or setting it up technically, or recipe for success. And I appreciate it because he's a wealth of knowledge. The ego fucking ruins it.
Yeah, a lot of people have got fucking egos. I got an ego. You know, it's like it's funny. You know what? You wouldn't be doing shows like this if you don't have some sort of an ego either. You know, so a little bit of ego is a good thing. It's when you can't keep the fucking thing in check is where it becomes a problem. So, and look, there's a lot of people, particularly on Facebook, that cannot keep their fucking egos in check.
Oh yeah.
You know, I like to think of it this way. You know, that when I first started keeping reptiles, I kept, and I started catching venomous snakes in my early years. You know, I caught a tiger snake when I was 5 years old, for fuck's sake. So, you know, it's not a smart thing to do. There's no way I'll be saying, hey, go out and catch tiger snakes. It's not a smart thing to do. But I was keeping venomous snakes from the age of 10. And it was only because I didn't give a shit. I'd go out to my backyard. I'd go and catch it. I'd bring it home. Eventually, my parents caved and gone, well, he's going to keep doing it. We might as well fucking set him up properly. And, you know, by the age of fucking 12, I had tigers, browns, copperheads, black snakes, all sorts of shit that I was keeping. And so by the time I was 18, I'd been keeping venomous snakes for like 6 years. And I reckon that is the worst age of a venomous keeper. Keeping venomous reptiles for about 6 or 7 years is the absolute fucking worst, right? After that, they start to mellow out a bit because at that time, when they've been keeping venomous snakes for 6 years, those guys think that they know fucking everything. They're experts. They're the smartest dudes in the room, all this sort of stuff. No, those guys don't know. They're too stupid to know what they don't know. And the longer you keep reptiles, the more you start to realize how little you actually fucking know and how more open you are to listening to other people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but also too, like listening to people from across the globe, they've got completely different ideas on things and completely different ways of looking at something. yeah, we're all humans and all the rest of it, but we all have different ways of looking at things, and because we all have different ways of looking at things, you don't necessarily be looking through the same rose-colored glasses as everybody else. You're not all drinking the same Kool-Aid, so to speak.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
fun and games.
Yeah, it's funny because I posted pictures of my condo setups on Instagram, and there were European guys that are like, "That's a horrible way to keep them," and it's because the guys in Europe keep their stuff in really elaborate setups.
But how do they keep them though? Why? How are they getting better success in keeping those animals that way?
I don't think they are. I think it's just the whole like animal cruelty because my chondro, which is dumb enough to try and eat its water bowl, isn't in a elaborate naturalistic setup.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a running, I don't want to say a joke, but there's always been a saying, at least for the States, that while the United States was learning how to make morphs, Europe was learning how to keep the animal better and healthier. And like, I kind of agree with it to a certain extent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Australia is sort of halfway in between the two.
Yeah.
Like it's halfway between whether we keep animals in such a way that, we keep them a bit like the Europeans in some ways, and we also keep them a bit like the Americans. But then we've also got our own style where a lot of keepers over here keep stuff outside. And I do not, for the life of me, understand why you guys do not keep more shit outside. It makes no sense to me. And if I was in Florida, I'd be definitely considering keeping chondros outside for at least 6 months, 9 months of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also comes down to that I can't because A, I'm not supposed to have them in my apartment, and B, I don't trust native wildlife and I don't trust other humans.
Yeah, we have raccoons. They'll eat anything they can get their hands on.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, we've got fucking cane toads, we've got cats, we've got possums, we've got other snakes, we've got goannas that come into our backyard. You have a fucking 6-foot lace monitor cruise over your back fence, sees a carpet python or a fucking imbricata in an enclosure. It's looking at that thing going, that's a fucking deal. And I hazard to guess a 16-kilo, 6-foot lace monitor is probably as strong, if not stronger, than a fucking raccoon. It just means that your enclosures that you keep outside aren't necessarily aren't set up in such a way that you're only worrying about the security of the animal from getting out, but also the security of the animal, making sure that nothing gets in as well. We make no bones about it. We fucked up when we were keeping parentes outside. We still keep parentes outside. We had a cane toad get in. We fucking lost a $3,000 lizard to a cane toad.
Ooh, damn.
And reality of it is, we lost that cane toad. We lost that parente through my fault as a keeper. I fucked that up. The reason that lizard died was my fucking husbandry because I did not take into account cane toads in the backyard. And that's the thing. You can either own your mistakes, and I think if you own your mistakes, that's a much better way of being, or you can pretend that they don't happen and pretend that we never lose snakes and no one ever has a fucking death and all the rest of it. Our enclosures never get shit in them, and it's such a bullshit fucking view of the world that we put ourselves out to be. We all make mistakes. We're all fucking human. It's the integrity we act upon when we're telling our story, and whether we're truthful or not, and also whether or not we keep with the idea in our head that we don't need to have every fucking snake. We can keep less animals, but keep them better. And the reality of it is that's something that Ty and I are doing now. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 2-person collection. It's not my collection, it's our collection. And the reality of it is we're keeping less animals now than we ever have, but we're keeping the animals that we do have better. And it's not to say that we weren't keeping the animals well beforehand. It's just that we can spend a little bit more time with things, and spend a little bit more time, you pick up on little things earlier in the piece. The other thing that we've also gone to, we're keeping our animals in bigger enclosures than we used to. And by having them in bigger enclosures, we can observe them better, we can see more, and we're learning more. So, it's up to everybody. Everybody picks their role. Everyone's got their ethical standard that they want to live by, and that's entirely on them, I suppose. And I'm not judging anyone else either, by the way.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
Anyway, I was really looking forward to coming to the States and talking at fucking Herpeton, and COVID fucked that in the ass. So that kind of sucked. But, hey, we'll get over it. I'll go chase some tail shakers and shit. So, you guys will get to deal with a crazy Australian at some point. So I'd like to go and harass Asmiops and Chrysalis. Oh, there's so many fucking nice animals over there to go and play with. So, I survive.
Bears rats.
Fucking bears rats. They look like they're wearing fucking goggles. They're fucking googly-eyed motherfucking things. Oh, look, you know what? As long as you like them, more power to you, mate. More power to you.
So Scott, how do I get a copy of your book, man? I've been trying to find it, and I fucking can't find it.
Which one?
The venomous.
Good luck. Mate, they're sold out. Well and truly sold out. You won't get it.
Well, how do we get more?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I won't be releasing it the same way it is now anyway. If I redo it, I won't be redoing it the way it is. It'll be a full-on update. So I have a plan, but I've got the Lizard book that's sort of in press at the moment, so I've got to get that knocked over, and I've got a couple of other papers that I want to finish off before I do any of that stuff. And then, once I've done that, it'll be about 10 years since I worked on the Elapid book, and it'll be time for a redo. So, a lot of things have changed in 10 years, Spent 30 grand on a fucking herp room in that time.
Right.
And I suppose that's the other thing, I built that herp room because I didn't want to keep animals inside the house anymore. And by doing that herp room, spending 30K on a fucking herp room, you do it once, but you do it right. And like our enclosures around the outside, I don't know if you guys see photos of it, but it's each enclosure that's around the outside is 4 foot by 3 foot deep. By the bottom enclosure and the top enclosures are 3 foot high, and the ones in the middle are 15 inches high. So they're 4 foot by 3 feet deep by 15 inches, like the smallest enclosures in there. And you put 4 foot elapids in there, and the fucking things stretch out, and they absolutely love it. Our olive pythons are in big enclosures, and they love it too. Our taipans are in big enclosures, and they love it. It's fucking great. And then the crazy part is that we've got heating in there and stuff like that, obviously. And the snakes we've got windows in the roof, double glazed windows in the roof, and the snakes will follow the sun as the sun hits their enclosure. They'll go and bask in the actual sunlight because obviously their eyes are picking up on the UVA that's in the sunlight as opposed to what the lighting is in the enclosures. And they'll go and actually sort of bask using the sun. And then at night, the moon phases affect the movement within the room. So a lot of snakes are affected by moon phases. Nocturnal species don't move that much when it's the full moon. Wow. And you walk in there on the full moon, and all the death adders, they're all curled up, they're hidden away, they're waiting for food, they're not out moving. The minute that moon phase is gone, or the moon sets for the night, or it hasn't risen yet, those animals are out and they're cruising. The mulgars are cruising, the pythons are moving, the boiga are moving, the adders are moving, all that stuff's moving because the moon hasn't risen yet. And you got to think about it. So in the wild, the animals aren't moving, that they're moving during that time because it's dark. So the mammalian prey have got better light sensitivity when there's a moon out, so they can see their predators coming. They can't see their predators coming with the lights turned out. So that's why there's so much more movement and predation events, things like that, going on when there's no moon. Because you got to remember, the snakes get eaten at night as well. Things like fucking owls and fucking all sorts of shit prey on snakes. So they're getting predated upon when it's dark as well. So they like to prefer to move when there's no light around. And so by having those windows in the roof, we're actually seeing some of these natural behaviors coming into our animals in captivity, which we never saw before. Not to say that they weren't happening, but we never saw it.
Makes sense.
So, and I wonder with some of the ones that are really hard species that are perceived to be hard to breed, it's probably not that hard to breed. It's probably that you haven't figured out whatever the trigger is that's required to keep that animal and turn that animal and go from that animal just being able to subside in captivity to actually being able to thrive. And I think that's the problem with bolins. I think people are struggling with bolins, not because bolins are a hard snake to keep. They're not a hard snake to keep. People can keep them alive fine. They just don't know what that trigger is to get them to breed properly. Now, we don't know what it is, whether it's a food thing, whether it's a light thing, whether it's UV, whether it's humidity, whether it's temperature. Who the fuck knows? It could be a combination of all things. And if you don't get that right, you're not doing it right. And then you talk to these newer style keepers, and Michael Vesquier is a great example of that. He's a guy that doesn't listen necessarily to what everybody used to do, and is just looking at what the animals are getting, the animals telling him what to do. And he's having really good success with really challenging species because he's listening to what the animals are telling him, nice. As opposed to just going, that same cookie cutter approach, treat every animal the same way and thinking that, it's the definition of craziness. If you keep doing things exactly the same way and expecting a different result, you're bound to fail.
That's so great. That's so great. I can't agree enough.
Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna have to get going because I've got to do some work.
Yeah, it's bedtime anyways.
Yeah.
Well, 2:00 in the afternoon over here, fellas. So I don't know where you guys going to bed. It's like you're having an afternoon kip.
Well, thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate it. Love having you on.
All right, we'll talk shit at some point in time in the future.
All right, man. We'll talk to you in a few hours.
Perfect.
See you, bro. Bye.
Later.
Well, that
the
was
internet
a definitive treat. Dude, as much as I love Andy, that made my night.
The internet superhighway.
Dude, and it's so crazy. Not to boost his fucking ego, but dude, when you watch someone or you read about someone that is in your hobby or in your community, and you, for lack of a better word, you fanboy over them or whatever, and you follow their work and stuff, and then they get to break your balls on a regular basis on Facebook, that's fucking awesome. I love it. And I still regret. What's that?
Said if you're into that kind of thing.
But no, but for real, how many people get to do that? And we just did it. That's awesome. I regret not getting that Elapid book when I had the chance. I really do. And every time that he messaged me on Facebook, it's oh, check out this, Red Belly Black, or oh, dude, look at this tiger snake we just got. And I'm like, fuck, man, why did I get that book? I should have got his book. It annoys me, but
I just think it's cool that we can have people across the world just pop in.
Yeah, in his car, which happens to have the steering column on the wrong side of the vehicle. From the future.
Or play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, well, I think this was a great show, episode 49. So, hey, next week is episode 50.
It is.
And we're going to have Puget Sound Pythons on.
Yes.
I think that's befitting. And are we going to do anything special for the show?
I don't know. Think of something.
Well, I saved that saber tooth, so I'm definitely going to smoke that.
Oh.
And, yeah, we'll think of something.
Word.
Have you orchestrated episode 100 of THP?
It's happening Thursday. not exactly sure what we're gonna do yet.
Okay.
I don't. It's just like I don't really know what there is that can be done. No.
Are you guys going to try and do the live thing?
Probably. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
50 shots of gin. God, no.
Jesus. Dude, I had 3 fingers of gin to start this show, and then afterward I was like, I'm done. I'm done. That 3 fingers was just enough.
Only takes a little.
And Brad, thank you for the compliment. Glad
Yes.
you enjoyed it.
We
This is
will.
episode 49.
See y'all next week.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Puget Sound Pythons.
Good night, Moon.
See you.
Bye.